World-Defying Dan God Chapter 5021, Animal Life. Chen Shang didn't know that in the eyes of the Beast Domain Elders, he and Gong Baihe were already dead. In fact, Gong Baihe thought so too, but she just didn't say it. In the past, she would have been very pessimistic, but now that she met Chen Shang, a spark of hope ignited in her heart. For those who have been pessimistic all the time, although there is only a glimmer of hope, a single spark can start a prairie fire, and there is a glimmer of light in the dark world of Gong Baihe's pessimism and despair. Chen Shang originally asked Gong Baihe to go out to kill and transform human beasts to collect beast cores, but she refused to go. She wanted to stay by Chen Zhang's side, just in case. It could be seen that she was still very cautious. In order for Chen Shang to not be found again, he and Gong Baihe put in a lot of effort to move the space shell under the deep ground. So Yi Guangding went to find Chen Shang later, but he couldn't find it. He went to Chen Shang, just wanted to tell him about the situation on the 5th floor, hoping to reconsider joining the Temple of Time. Not being able to find Chen Shang, Yi Guangding could only leave in disappointment. Chen Shang was still refining the beast pill, and he often contacted Dalingshe to learn about the situation outside from her. Although Dalingshe couldn't get to know the situation on the 5th floor through the crystal wall in the lobby, but she was able to learn a lot of news from the great dragon ancestor, all of which were sent back by the disciples of the Yishan Longmen. Dalingshe said that the disciples of Yishan Longmen have improved by leaps and bounds because of the help of the time monks. The same is true for the disciples of other sects, and there have been sect disciples entering the 4th floor one after another. Those disciples of the Heavenly Ancestor sect have already obtained enough beast cores to start alchemy in the trial town and prepare to enter the 5th floor. After Chen Shang heard the news, he was also very surprised. He was able to obtain 50 beast cores on the 5th floor as early as possible to refine them into beast pills, and his strength was indeed greatly improved. With the help of the time cultivators in the Temple of Time, the strength has increased so rapidly. Chen Zhang's heart is somewhat moved, because he is already fast enough. There are still people who are faster than him. Chen Shang told Gong Baihe this news. They need to pay the price. After listening to Gong Baihe, he was unmoved and said with a cold face, "The Temple of Time is not a good thing. I don't believe that they don't ask for anything in return. Sister He, you don't have much contact with the Temple of Time, but you seem to be quite enlightened." Chen Shang said with a smile, "Why do you think they are unreliable? The torture I suffered on the 5th floor was all given by the Temple of Time. Of course I hate them, so I will never believe them." Gong Baihe said. "Makes sense." Chen Shang nodded. "They are indeed unbelievable. Even though the Beast Domain Elder and that Yi Guangding seem to be good people, they do not represent the Temple of Time. The Temple of Time created this immortal war profound demon pagoda and created so many unprovoked slaughter, which means that any life is an ant in the eyes of the Temple of Time, and it can be obliterated at any time." Gong Baihe became more and more angry. "They, as I said before, the other two I have died." Speaking of this matter, Gong Baihe clenched his fist tightly and said, "In their eyes, this is a normal thing, but for me, it's the other two who died, and this feeling is very bad." Quote, "If it weren't for the Temple of Time, the other two would not have died on the 5th floor." Chen Shang suddenly frowned. "Sister He, the reason why you are so afraid of the 5th floor is most likely that the other two of you have conveyed this fear to you in some way. I hope you can avoid it." Chen Shang said, "Perhaps, the two of you there is a soul induction that spans time and space. It should be. I learned that they died. I was very uncomfortable. I often had nightmares, dreaming that I died very painful. Maybe it was their fear before they died, and they were reminding me at the same time." Gong Baihe lowered his head, which made her feel down. "Will my destiny be like theirs? Will I end up tragically dying on the 5th floor? Maybe, this is my destiny." Gong Baihe seemed to suddenly look away. "I should face my destiny and accept my destiny. Fate." "Sister He, no," Chen Shang said. "Perhaps, their remnants have crossed time and space and become one with you. That's why you have a deep fear of the 5th floor. You should face your fears." "I don't know, but I will definitely go to the 5th floor." Gong Baihe has made up his mind. No matter how afraid he is of the 5th floor, he must face it bravely. A few days later, Chen Shang got the news from Dalingshe, and the first to go to the 5th floor turned out to be the disciples of Yishan Longmen. The most terrifying thing is that after the Longmen disciples went to the 5th floor, they directly lost contact with the great dragon ancestor. Then the demon ancestors opened the teleportation array and entered the 5th floor. Afterwards, sect disciples entered the 5th floor one after another, and they all lost contact when they reached the 5th floor. When Chen Shang heard the news, he immediately deduced that there was a strong turbulence in time and space on the 5th floor. Maybe the time on the 5th floor was different from the outside, and he didn't know what the flow rate was. Both Da Lingshe and Da Tianyao told Chen Shang that they hoped that he would come back safely. It doesn't matter if he doesn't want the final reward, as long as people can go back. Especially the big celestial monster. She is like the charming celestial monster. She is almost crying. I hope Chen Shang can go back to play with her safely, and also said that the rest of his life can't be without Brother Shen. If Chen Shang was going to the 5th floor, he could have gone there long ago, but he would never go without adequate preparation. He has to cultivate a destiny on the 4th floor before he can go to the 5th floor. Knowing that Chen Shang was cultivating and had not entered the 5th floor for a long time, Da Lingshe and Da Tianyao were relieved. Chen Shang can also control the flow of time in the space shell, so even if he cultivates for many years, it will be fine, and it will not be long outside. He made a lot of beast pills to eat, not only to cultivate life, but also to improve his body and soul. He must improve in all aspects, so that he can be guaranteed to enter the 5th floor. On the 5th floor, there may not be a small town for trials. Chen Shang suddenly thought of this. How will you refine pills then? If there is no order on the 5th floor, can you use the magic weapon? Sister Xiaojing suddenly became excited. If this is the case, then she can finally show her magic power. You'll find out when you get to the 5th floor, Sister Jing, your new destiny is about to be fulfilled. Chen Shang was also very excited at the moment. Chen Shang has been cultivating in Space Bay for a long time, for several years in total, and it has only been 2 or 3 months outside. He finally cultivated a new lifestyle, beast lifestyle. After this fate appeared, Chen Shang could feel the 4 signs divine art roaring in his soul. The 4 signs divine art, it should also be possible to cultivate the divine fate, right? Chen Shang suddenly had this idea, because the 4 signs divine art now is very different from the original. World Defying Dan God Chapter 5022, The Magic Tower is out of control. After Chen Shang cultivated a new destiny, he went out with Gong Baihe, and they continued to hunt down the beasts that turned into human beings. There are a large number of beasts in the Shenzhen Xuanmo Tower, all of which were brought in from multiple time and space worlds, so there are many, and they will be replenished frequently, and it is impossible to kill them all. Chen Shang tried his own strength. He could single-handedly take on many beasts on the 4th floor. If he didn't use magic weapons or something, he still couldn't beat Gong Baihe. And Gong Baihe is the most powerful group of beasts in the 4th floor. Before going to the 5th floor, Gong Baihe took Chen Shang to find that big brother wolf. That is, the elder brother of the previous elder eagle and elder mouse. This wolf elder brother had conflicts with Gong Baihe when he was in Lingxianmen before, and he framed Gong Baihe many times because of his strength. Now Gong Baihe came to the door and directly fought with the big brother wolf. After several hours of fighting, the winner was finally determined, and the big brother was beheaded to get a big beast core. After Chen Zhang's breakthrough, Gong Baihe and Gong Baihe killed many fierce beasts everywhere, with a total of more than 100 beast cores, and then went to the trial town to make pills. In the lobby outside, people left one after another, because nothing could be seen in the lobby, and they had been here for a long time, so they all went outside to breathe. There are still some people in the lobby, such as Da Lingshe and Da Tianyao, who were in the luxurious room where Da Longzhu was before. The great dragon ancestor had already left because he lost contact with the Longmen disciples, and he was trying to get in touch with the time cultivator at this time. Finally, they saw Chen Shang appearing in the alchemy area of the trial town, refining alchemy. They have been in contact with Chen Shang, but they have not seen Chen Shang. Chen Shang put Gong Baihe into a storage artifact and wanted to take her to the 5th floor. Many people left the lobby, but there were still some people who stayed. When they saw Chen Shang appearing, they started to talk about it. After all, Chen Shang was a forerunner before, but this time he is so far behind, which makes people feel embarrassed. After Chen Shang made enough beast pills, he contacted Da Lingshe and Da Tianyao again to say goodbye to them, because he didn't know when he would be able to contact them after reaching the 5th floor. Da Lingshe and the others told Chen Shang again, and then watched Chen Shang enter the teleportation formation in the teleportation area. Chen Shang opened the teleportation array to leave, and when he was passing through the space passage, he suddenly saw a figure in front of him. It turned out to be that Yi Guangding. Little brother, take your time. Yi Guangding said, I've been waiting for you to show up these days, mainly to tell you something. Please speak. Chen Shang nodded. It took a lot of effort for Yi Guangding to stop Chen Shang in the space passage. Going to the 5th floor will completely lose contact with the outside world. Yi Guangding said, even we can't act on the 5th floor. I see. Chen Shang was still a little surprised, because the situation on the 5th floor was more complicated than he thought, and even the time cultivator couldn't intervene. The time on the 5th floor is different from outside. Yi Guangding said, 100 years on the 5th floor is equivalent to 1 day outside. Ah, the difference is too big. Chen Shang was shocked. Yes, so it's difficult to communicate with the outside world. Yi Guangding nodded and said, also, you still can't use divine weapons on the 5th floor. If you use them, the end will be serious, and you will be punished by the Immortal War Profound Demon Tower. Quote. The Immortal War Profound Demon Tower punishment. Chen Shang frowned and said, could it be that this tower has become refined? It's really good, and it's out of control. Yi Guangding said helplessly, the Temple of Time has no good way to control this tower, unless it is completely destroyed. If it is destroyed, it will be a huge loss for our Temple of Time. We can't bear it either. Chen Shang felt that there was something wrong with the Immortal War Profound Demon Tower, but he didn't expect it to be so. It's too late for you to join the Temple of Time. Yi Guangding said again, this is the last chance. I refuse. Chen Shang said, okay, I hope we don't become enemies in the future. I also hope that you and Gong Baihe can live. Yi Guangding said, he knew that Gong Baihe was stored in the storage artifact by Chen Shang. Thank you for reminding me. Chen Shang clasped his fists and said, by the way, Brother Yi, if you have time, please help me find out where the little stars where the Shen family is located, and where are the stars where the demon nation is located or taken. If you don't have time, then forget it. Oh, what is this? Yi Guangding didn't know. My family and friends were taken away by the time cultivator, and their whereabouts are still unknown. Chen Shang said, they were originally in the world-defying universe. World-defying universe? That world-defying universe. Yi Guangding was shocked. Are you from world-defying universe? Yes, I'm from the world-defying universe. Chen Shang nodded. No wonder. Okay, I'll check it out for you. Yi Guangding nodded and said, we'll talk later when we meet. I have a lot of questions about the world-defying universe, and I want to ask you. Thank you, we will meet again. Chen Shang nodded. Take care. After Yi Guangding finished speaking, the person suddenly disappeared. And Chen Shang came to the sky above the 5th floor. As soon as they came to the 5th floor, there were hundreds of lightning strikes suddenly. Chen Shang cursed loudly, and then released a space domain to torque the space around him. After the lightning touched the space domain, it was twisted and bent away. Chen Shang quickly landed on the ground, and immediately released Gong Baihe. This is the new 5th floor. It's getting even more terrifying. Gong Baihe looked solemn, looking at the lightning in the air. The sky is dark red, flashing with lightning of various colors. If it is flying in the air, it will be struck by lightning, and it will be bombarded by thousands of lightning. If Chen Shang hadn't blocked it just now, he would definitely only have half his life left now. That kind of thunder and lightning was really terrifying, so no one dared to fly in the air. Chen Shang also saw that there were many lightning vortexes in the dark red space, all of them were very huge. If they approached, they would definitely be sucked in, and the consequences could be imagined. Is it safe here? Chen Shang looked around. It was a very flat wasteland with many rubble. It's not safe. After Gong Baihe finished speaking, he immediately pulled Chen Shang to jump. Just after jumping away, the place where they were just suddenly sags, and a large vortex appears in that piece of gravel. Roar! A huge roar exploded, and a giant beast like a mountain jumped up from the ground. What is this stuff? Chen Shang was shocked. He had never seen such a big thing before. The reason why he was surprised was because he didn't find such a big thing, and he almost swallowed it. World-Defying Dan God Chapter 5023, Danger Everywhere. Gong Baihe is indeed very experienced in the 5th floor. Although this is the new 5th floor, she is still very familiar with that dangerous feeling. The 5th floor was both familiar and unfamiliar to her. The strange thing is that it has indeed changed a lot. And it is familiar that it is as dangerous as ever. Her instinctive intuition for various dangers on the 5th floor is still useful. The reason why she was able to survive on the 5th floor was because she was always aware of danger in advance. Gong Baihe took Chen Shang and flew in the low sky all the time. She couldn't fly too high, and she couldn't fly too low. This was her experience of surviving on the 5th floor. Sister He, where are we going? Chen Shang asked. I don't know, Gong Baihe said solemnly, we should go to a safe place, but I don't know where it is safe. Intuition tells me that there are dangers everywhere. Chen Shang could not see the danger, nor could he feel it. He released his divine sense to sense, but he couldn't sense anything. Is it really dangerous? Chen Shang looked into the air and only felt that those lightning vortices were more dangerous. He felt that he was far away from the giant beast that emerged from the ground just now, so he should be safe. Very dangerous. Gong Baihe didn't say much, because she had to concentrate now to detect danger in time. Chen Shang suddenly thought of Trial Town, but after he took out the token, he found that he could not perceive the Trial Town. Could it be that there is no Trial Town on this floor? So how do you get to the 6th floor? It doesn't make sense. Chen Shang suddenly panicked. What's wrong? Gong Baihe asked. I should be able to perceive the Trial Town through this token, it must be very safe there. Chen Shang said. But now it is invalid. Remember the people who met the Temple of Time before. Gong Baihe frowned slightly. Perhaps only by accepting their help can we know where the Trial Town is. These guys, it's too shameless to do this. Chen Shang scolded in a low voice. If I can't find the Trial Town, wouldn't I be unable to enter the next floor? As long as there is a small Trial Town, it can still be found. Gong Baihe said. The 5th floor is not very big. If it is still as small as before, I can take you to find the small Trial Town. That's great, Chen Shang said. I must go to the end. The Temple of Time treats people unfairly, I want to give them some color. Chen Shang was unwilling to join the Temple of Time and did not need the help of the Temple of Time, but the Temple of Time shamelessly changed the rules of the game. Originally, when I entered the Shenzhen Xuanmo Tower, I could sense the small town of trials and the beasts through the jade token, but now I can't sense anything. Even if there is a change in the Shenzhen Xuanmo Tower, then they should be replaced with jade cards, right? The more Chen Shang thought about it, the more angry he became. Isn't there a safe place here? Chen Shang was always being led by Gong Baihe to fly, and felt very irritable, he just wanted to stop quickly. I haven't found a safe place yet. Gong Baihe said, her nerves still tense. Sister He, are you worrying too much? Chen Shang said, perhaps this place is not as dangerous as you thought. It's really dangerous. Gong Baihe shook his head and said, you must believe me. Chen Shang looked down and said, the wasteland below is all loess, it is very flat, and I have released my spiritual sense to investigate, there is no big thing hidden, it should be safe. Do you want to go down and have a try? Gong Baihe asked. Of course I do, Chen Shang said with a smile, I also have a certain intuition about danger. It shouldn't be a big problem. Let's stop and rest first. You always fly like this, when will you be a big one? Okay. Gong Baihe didn't say much, and flew down with Chen Shang, but she was still very vigilant, there must be danger down there, you must be prepared, don't let any slack. Okay, Chen Shang also took it seriously. Gong Baihe and Chen Shang landed on the yellow earth. Look, it's very quiet. Chen Shang hissed and said with a smile, Sister He, it's safe now. Coming, Gong Baihe suddenly shouted, grabbed Chen Shang immediately, and rushed straight into the sky. At this time, thousands of huge and violent thunder and lightning struck from the sky. Before Chen Shang could react, he and Gong Baihe were shrouded in countless wild thunders. Fortunately, they were all prepared. Gong Baihe was covered in white light, as if shrouded in the phantom of a huge white crane, leading her and Chen Shang to break through the violent lightning. Before Chen Shang could figure out what was going on, he was already taken by Gong Baihe and flew into the distance, but he looked back at the countless thundering sky just now, but saw a large number of black objects being bombarded indiscriminately there. What is that? Chen Shang was shocked. Did something come out of the ground just now? Yes, Gong Baihe said, I don't know what it is, I just know that if we run slower, we will surely die. Chen Zhang's pupils contracted, it was too fast just now, so he couldn't see what it was. If it's really dangerous, before he can see clearly, maybe the person is gone. Chen Shang looked at the yellow land where they landed just now, and saw that there were many small black holes in the ground, and there were indeed a lot of things coming out of the ground. On the 5th floor, you don't need to know what is attacking you. If you want to know, you must have enough power. Otherwise, you won't have a chance to run away when you see those things clearly. Gong Baihe said. The floor is still the fifth floor. Chen Shang is not talking, Gong Baihe is right. What frightened him was that he knew nothing about the dangers hidden in the fifth floor. Why can't he perceive those things? I can still fly with you now. It's very safe. It's also because we haven't encountered the things on the 6th and 7th floors that were merged before. Gong Baihe said. Maybe those things are concentrated in one place. Bar. Gong Baihe also flies aimlessly at a low altitude. Fortunately, flying does not consume much for her. After all, she is a flying bird and beast. Chen Shang is also starting to think now, because it must not go on like this, flying at low altitude to avoid danger all the time. When will this be ahead? What's more, they haven't encountered the things that were merged into the 6th and 7th floors before. If they did, what should they do? Brother, the power of fate you cultivated before may be helpful. Sister Xiaojing said. The power of variables at each level is related to each other. Not bad. Chen Shang was thinking about this at this moment. There must be a place for us on the 5th floor. Chen Shang believed that the lifestyle power that he had cultivated before would definitely be of great help in the 5th floor. Do you like this site? Donate here. World Defying Dan God Chapter 5024, Fate Reaction. Chen Shang entered the Shenzhen Profound Demon Pagoda and cultivated the fate pattern, and the process was very hasty, and after training, there was no time to seriously comprehend the power of the law in the fate pattern. His excavation of those few fates is far from enough, so now he also sinks his heart to think, to understand the power of fate, to grasp the essentials so that he will not be so embarrassed in the 5th floor. If it wasn't for Gong Baihe, he might have been finished. Gong Baihe kept silent, because she was concentrating her mental strength. Chen Shang took her hand and could feel that she was very tense. This high level of mental concentration was also a huge drain on her. Looking at her current appearance, Chen Shang needs to find a way as soon as possible. Because she knew very well how much pressure Gong Baihe was under at this time. In a short period of time, she may be able to bear it, but if it takes a long time, she will definitely collapse. You must know that she was on the 5th floor for many years, and was in this state of fear and despair every moment. No wonder she was full of shadows on the 5th floor. Sister He, I have to think of a way. Chen Shang said. Come on my back and I'll carry you, so that you can think more quietly. Gong Baihe knew that Chen Shang was very capable, so she also believed that Chen Shang could think of a way. She doesn't know about alchemy, but she knows that Chen Zhang's alchemy skills are extraordinary, because even those people in the Temple of Time were shocked by Chen Zhang's alchemy skills. Chen Zhang's mastery of such a superb alchemy technique must have something else outstanding, or some kind of talent as the basis for him to master that kind of alchemy technique. Chen Shang was a little reluctant at first. After all, as a big man, being run by his back was somewhat embarrassing. But Gong Baihe pulled him strongly and threw it on his back. Chen Shang could only let Gong Baihe carry it on his back temporarily. He lay on Gong Baihe's back, sucking the faint fragrance from her body, and an indescribable infinite tenderness flooded into his heart. He didn't know why he felt this way. Although he was running for his life now, on the very dangerous 5th floor, Chen Shang felt inexplicably warm and safe. Sister He, you have always felt insecure on the 5th floor. But now you have given me a great sense of security, thank you. Chen Shang lay on her back and said softly beside her earlobe. Gong Baihe's heart is swaying. If it is normal, she may have some special actions, but at this time she must maintain a high degree of vigilance, and whispered, Chen Shang, you don't have to thank me. You helped me break through and gave me a lot of money. Hope. Don't call me Chen Shang, I've already called you Sister He. When you call me, can't you be a little closer? Chen Shang said with a smile. What do you want to call you? I don't understand. Gong Baihe really didn't understand and asked, how do other women of yours address you in general? They all call me a little rascal. Chen Shang curled his lips and said, you don't need to learn from them to call me that. Got it, little rascal. Gong Baihe also got naughty. They said don't learn from them. Chen Shang was a little mad, but he didn't expect this cold woman to have such a side. Didn't you say you have to find a way? Find a way to go. Gong Baihe said, Sister He, I will definitely protect you. Gong Baihe was flying with Chen Shang on his back, and there was a wonderful feeling that she had never experienced before. She didn't know why it was like this, but she just thought it was good, especially when Chen Shang was talking in her ear just now, which made her heart rippling. Sister He, I will definitely give you a warm and safe harbor. Chen Shang said, and then he reached out and touched her face from behind. Gong Baihe didn't say anything. She has to fly with vigilance now, because there is movement on the ground now. What's down there? Chen Shang asked. You don't need to worry about it, you can seriously think of a way. Gong Baihe said, whether I can break through on the 5th floor is up to you. Okay. Chen Shang closed his eyes and began to deeply perceive the few fates he had just cultivated. He cultivated too hastily before, and he didn't study much later. Originally, those few fates should react to each other, but now there is no reaction at all. Tianxuan's fate is the eldest brother, you have to let other fates interact with Tianxuan's fate, or surround yourself with Tianxuan's fate. Chen Shang starts from here, he first has to make those fates react, and see what kind of power will be spawned. Lying on Gong Baihe's back, he could feel very gentle and warm, breathing the elegant fragrance of the beautiful woman, which made him enter a state without knowing it, and those few fates gradually gathered towards Tianxuan's fate. Tianxuan's life grid is now like a small Tianxuan star field. After the few fates are close, they circle around Tianxuan's life grid, and it seems that there is a reaction gradually. When Chen Shang woke up, he took a deep breath, still able to the fragrance from Gong Baihe's body. He is still on Gong Baihe's back. Gong Baihe flew on his back for a long time, and more than a month has passed since he slept. When he looked at the ground, he found that he was above a forest. Little villain, you finally woke up. Gong Baihe said. Ah, how long have I slept? Chen Shang asked. More than a month, Gong Baihe said lightly. What, I slept for so long? Have you encountered any danger during this time? Chen Shang hurriedly checked Gong Baihe. Her snow-white and holy dress had no blood or anything, which reassured him a lot. No, Gong Baihe said. The 5th floor has expanded a bit. This area is something I have never been to before. I'm really sorry that I haven't been able to talk with you during this period of time. Chen Shang felt very distressed for Gong Baihe. It's alright, I'm used to it. Gong Baihe said softly, I feel good with you by my side. By the way, have you come up with a solution? I have an idea, but I have to try it before I know it. Chen Shang really understood a method, which was to create an independent space on the 5th floor through the combined power of the heavenly jade fate and the space fate. Then they hide in the space force and they are temporarily safe. Then try it out, Gong Baihe said, it's good to have a way, but I didn't have any way back then. Well, I'll try it now. Chen Shang said. By the way, Sister He, if you don't fly, will you be attacked? I don't know, do you have to stop? Gong Baihe asked. Chen Shang needs to stop when he opens up space, because he still has to pass through the 5th floor. Yes, Chen Shang nodded. Just do it, leave the rest to me. Gong Baihe said, I can block it. Her words were short and powerful, which made Chen Shang feel very reliable. Okay, start now, Chen Shang said. Gong Baihe also stopped, and Chen Shang also lay on her back and didn't get down. If something happened, it would be convenient for Gong Baihe to run away with him on his back. Next, he will use a lot of power to open up space, so he can't fight, he must be guarded by someone. World Defying Dan God Chapter 5025, Tianxuan Space. Gong Baihe stopped, and Chen Shang began to try the method he said. The surroundings were very quiet, but Gong Baihe felt an inexplicable depression enveloped. Chen Shang has already started to mobilize the power of his own fate. Tianxuan fate and space fate emit the main attribute power. The Hengyan fate and beast fate release auxiliary power and do not contain attributes. This is to enhance the power of fate. Chen Shang was lying on Gong Baihe's back. In this way, if there was any trouble, Gong Baihe could immediately take him to dodge. Here, Gong Baihe suddenly said solemnly. As he just said, black shadows suddenly appeared from all directions. Chen Shang looked around and saw hundreds of black air masses. These air masses were floating and spewing out a baleful aura, and he didn't know what it was. Without Gong Baihe's reminder, Chen Shang could feel the terrifying aura. This air mass doesn't look like a human being or a beast. Could it be a soul body? Hundreds of air masses surrounded Chen Shang and Gong Baihe, and then slowly rotated. The black evil spirit overflowing from the black air mass gathered towards Chen Shang and Gong Baihe, and wanted to cover them up and besiege them. Roll! Gong Baihe snorted coldly, and the tall body flashed holy white light, turning into a wave of air and shaking all around. The black suffocation that gathered over was also washed away. The black air masses trembled as if they were conscious, as if they were angry, and then multiple black air masses rushed directly over. Gong Baihe floated in the air, stepped on his feet lightly, and then his body overflowed with bursts of divine power. Divine power turned into snow-white feathers the size of a palm, and countless feathers shot in all directions like arrows, hitting the inside of those black air masses. Boom boom boom. Multiple feathers shoot into each air mass and explode. The black air mass was torn apart, and many people with short stature appeared. These people are covered in thorny armor, only as tall as normal people, and they are small and thin. Their heads have no facial features, but a round shape, like a black sea urchin, with many spikes. After Gong Baihe shredded the shields of these monsters, he completely angered this group of monsters. The monster made a series of strange screams that sounded very shrill, which made people panic. At the same time as the monsters roared furiously, they flew towards Gong Baihe from all around, and began to attack fiercely. There are also many white feathers floating around the Gong Baihe. When those monsters flew over, they would explode when they touched the feathers, and then Gong Baihe's eyes flashed with colorful beams alternately, attacking those short monsters. The light from her eyes is also very strong, condensing divine power, and falling on those short monsters can cause great trauma to them. Gong Baihe just stood on the spot, carrying Chen Shang on his back, and repelling these small monsters in a moment. She also took a breath for a while. Chen Shang is still mobilizing his life force, reacting and condensing in his body. He used his body as a furnace to press the power of Tianshuan Fate and Space Fate, and forcibly fused these two fate forces together to react. According to his previous comprehension, these two fate powers can be combined together. If it goes well, he will be able to open up a small heavenly jade space through this heavenly jade space divine power. The Tianshuan space is not a small space created by him. It was created by him based on the space on the 5th floor. It is equivalent to digging a hole in a mountain to hide in. He is now going to dig a space in the 5th floor space and hide in it. It sounds very simple, but it needs a strong enough space force to support a Tianshuan space. Damn, those little ones just now were just a bunch of scumbags. Gong Baihe scolded in a low voice, because she sensed a stronger suffocating aura coming. Many large air masses suddenly appeared in the distance. Judging from these air masses, the monster that came this time is much bigger than the previous one. Gong Baihe originally planned to smash the monster's black shield as quickly as before, but as soon as these monsters appeared, they blew their black air shield. That super strong chi suffocated directly towards Gong Baihe and Chen Shang from all around. Gong Baihe hurriedly urged his divine power to resist, condensing a pair of huge white crane wings, wrapping her and Chen Shang, forming a shield. Chen Shang could feel dozens of shock waves inside, and was also secretly shocked by Gong Baihe's strength, actually blocking it. At this time, the monster also appeared. Although there are only dozens of them, they are very large, twice the size of normal people. Like the little monsters before, their bodies are wrapped in black thorny scales, and their heads are in the shape of a large round sea urchin. The screams from these monsters were also very unpleasant and even more intense. Chen Shang and Gong Baihe were very uncomfortable when they heard those screams, as if their heads were about to be shattered. After the monster shouted, the body suddenly shook, and the spikes on their scales seemed to be blown away by the shock, shooting at Gong Baihe and Chen Shang. Those spikes are like bows and arrows, and they have strong penetrating power. The most terrifying thing is that when they fall on Gong Baihe's shield, there are bursts of black chi sha, which can cause a very strong shock wave. Gong Baihe can only desperately release her divine power to strengthen her shield. She is already sure that she can't beat it. These things should have been merged into the 6th floor. Gong Baihe was very sure, gritted his teeth. There are no such terrible things on the 5th floor, and there are so many. Chen Shang also saw that Gong Baihe couldn't defeat big monsters. If he didn't succeed, he could only escape from here. The thorn-armored monsters kept roaring, and all the thorns on their bodies fell off and flew out, and were also blocked by Gong Baihe. And then, these monsters all rushed towards Gong Baihe. Gong Baihe gritted his teeth, and once again burst out with powerful divine power, condensing hundreds of very huge white feathers, each one the size of a person. These white feathers were Gong Baihe's divine power, condensed through her innate magical powers, and floated around her. The monster rushed over, and after touching the white feathers, the body was attached to the body by the feathers, and then the body became very heavy, and suddenly fell from the air. After falling to the ground, it caused a burst of explosions. However, the scales of these monsters are very strong and their bodies are very strong, and they were not killed because of this. After the angry stabbing monster was shot down, the body overflowed with black evil spirits, and then shot from the ground into the air like black lightning. Open. At this time, Chen Shang also released the heavenly jade space divine power that had been successfully condensed with eternal flame in his body, and punched forward with his palm, tearing open a golden space crack. Come in, Chen Shang shouted. Gong Baihe was very shocked, because she didn't feel the slightest space fluctuation, and there was no space power breath, but there was a space crack. With shock, she entered the space crack and came to a very small white space. The cracks in the space healed instantly. Chen Shang and Gong Baihe were facing each other in the very small Tianshuan space. World Defying Dan God Chapter 5026, Safe Home. Chen Zhang's condensed Tianshuan space divine power is too small, so he can only open up such a large space. This space is as big as an upright long cabinet. Chen Shang and Gong Baihe are close to each other face to face, there is no room for activities at all. Gong Baihe struggled at first, but found that the more he struggled, the more embarrassed he became, so he could only calm down. She turned her head to the side and rested her chin on Chen Zhang's shoulder. Although it was embarrassing now, at least she was out of trouble. After being safe for the time being, they could all rest. Little bastard, can this place only be this big? Or did you make it so small on purpose? Gong Baihe snorted lightly and seemed to be complaining, but she was already holding Chen Zhang's waist. Sister it really can only be this big. When I rest for a while, and I have the strength, I can expand a bit, and then I will be comfortable. Chen Shang smiled awkwardly and said, I really didn't mean it. Quote. I don't believe it. Gong Baihe said softly, I'm so tired, I want to rest for a while. It is good. Chen Shang also knew that Gong Baihe was very tired during this time, and his spirit was always tense, and he had resisted it for so long before, so it was really amazing to be able to survive. Gong Baihe closed her eyes and began to rest. When she recovered, she could also absorb energy to recover. This space is inside the Shenzhen Xuanmo Tower, and the Shenzhen Xuanmo Tower itself contains a lot of energy. After entering this space, you can absorb the energy of the Shenzhen Xuanmo Tower more quickly. When Gong Baihe was resting, the energy flowed in his body, and Chen Shang was close to her body, and he could feel a cool and gentle air flow around her body, accompanied by a gust of fragrant wind. Chen Shang couldn't help kissing her cheek, and now he was facing Gong Baihe's face. He didn't know that Gong Baihe was sleeping very deeply, or he didn't resist him, it was very quiet anyway. Little villain brother, don't expand the space so quickly. Keeping the current size will help improve your relationship. Sister Xiaojing said seriously, and then laughed. Brother, to be honest, I really feel that you've made the space so small on purpose, so you can make a mess. Girl Jing, you're making a fool of yourself again. Chen Shang couldn't help laughing, he really didn't have that kind of thought. But no matter what, Sister Xiaojing and Gong Baihe felt that Chen Shang did it on purpose. Brother, does this space need divine power to maintain it next? Sister Xiaojing asked. She was very curious about this, because Chen Zhang's move also surprised her. There is no need for divine power to maintain it. This was originally created by me using the divine power of Tianshuan space. Chen Shang said. Normally, if you dig a space, if you don't keep using your power to maintain it, the space will slowly heal. But because the characteristics of Tianshuan space divine power can support this space for a long time. Really? So, it's equivalent to using Tianshuan's space power to create a small space, and then embedding this small space into the space you tore open. Said Sister Xiaojing. It should be like this. After all, the basis of my divine powers are world creation power, and it is normal to create a small space. Chen Shang nodded. If you want to create a space inside the sand pile, you need to make a house first, and then bury it in the sand pile. You should be in a similar situation now. Sister Xiaojing smiled. Brother, it seems that you can always create a small space. Tianshuan space is really powerful. This is what Chen Shang realized before, and the effect is as good as he expected. Chen Shang has already brewed the divine power of the heavenly jade space in his body. He is not as bad as little Jing's younger sister, so he must expand this heavenly jade space as soon as possible so that they have more room for activities. When Gong Baihe was sleeping, Chen Shang expanded the space a little bit. Just now, it was only enough for 2 people to stand, but now it is enough for 2 people to lie down, and the surrounding area is much wider. Because it was in a very safe place, Chen Shang also dared to consume more energy to condense the divine power of Tianjian space. Chen Shang put Gong Baihe on the ground and let her lie down to rest, while he sat beside him, leaning against the wall. The walls here are all space walls, emitting white light, which is still very bright and comfortable. Although Tianshuan space is small, it is very safe. Chen Zhang's cultivation level is not enough now, otherwise he can make the time flow in this Tianshuan space, and can buy them a lot of time. 2 days later, Gong Baihe woke up and found himself lying on a soft white fluffy cushion. She looked around, and there was already a small room here, with small tables and chairs. Chen Shang just sat on a chair and closed his eyes to rest. "Little bastard, I haven't slept too long, have I?" Gong Baihe asked softly after waking up. Chen Shang was a little helpless. Gong Baihe seemed to be unable to change his name by calling him a little villain. "No, only 3 days." Chen Shang said with a smile. "Sister He, how are you recovering now?" "Almost completely recovered. This time is really tiring." Gong Baihe looked around and exclaimed, "Little villain, you are really amazing, you can open up such a space, how did you do it?" "It's all the variable power I accumulated in the previous layers." Chen Shang said. "Without those powers, I'm afraid I can't do it." The divine power released by Tianshuan Fate and Space Fate, and the eternal flame burning from Hengyan Fate, made him fuse the heavenly space divine power. When Tianshuan space divine power is released, it also carries a strong flame, which can burn through the space and open up Tianshuan space. Chen Shang only briefly explained the general process. Gong Baihe didn't quite understand it, because she had never heard of Tianshuan's fate, and she had no concept of fate cultivation. "How long can this space last?" Gong Baihe got up and pressed against the wall, but he still tried harder, and he could feel it was very firm. "It can last for a long time." Chen Shang said. "I can continue to expand." "Is it easy to get in and out?" Gong Baihe asked again. "It's very convenient. For me, it's like opening and closing the door." Chen Shang said with a smile. "Sister He, with Tianshuan space, it is equivalent to having a home here, very safe." Yeah, it was the first time that Gong Baihe could feel this sense of security on the 5th floor. She is much stronger than Chen Shang, but she can't do such a thing, so she admires Chen Shang even more. Elder of the difficult monster domain and that Yi Guangding, both think that we will die when we reach the 5th floor. Chen Shang said with a smile. "I have to say, the monsters in this place are really scary." "Yes, if it weren't for your space, we wouldn't be able to last long." Gong Baihe still pressed the space wall to confirm its stability. "Tianshuan space can be moved, I still don't know where it can be moved." Chen Shang said. "You have to open it before you can see it." World Defying Dan God Chapter 5027, Nine-Headed Beast. "Can you open a small mouth?" Gong Baihe asked. Of course. Under Chen Zhang's control, a small thumb hole appeared on a white space wall. Then Chen Shang took out 3 more crystal beads, and put one of them into the small hole and let it out. The other 2 are in the hands of him and Gong Baihe respectively. "If you stick it on your forehead, you can see the outside through the beads on the outside," Chen Shang said. The crystal beads he released were like an eye, and everything he saw when flying outside could be transferred into the minds of Chen Shang and Gong Baihe. "It's the forest," Gong Baihe said in surprise. "This is something that was not available on the 5th floor before." "Sister He, how much bigger is the 5th floor now compared to the 5th floor back then?" Chen Shang asked. "Didn't I carry you on my back for a while? At that time, I went around the edge of the 5th floor. I made an estimate, but it was bigger, not too much." Gong Baihe said. "It doesn't make sense. The 6th floor and the 7th floor are merged into the 5th floor, isn't the space expanded?" Chen Shang frowned. "The 3 floors are all independent of each other. If they are merged together, it will be what's the status?" Gong Baihe said that the 5th floor was not too big, but Chen Zhang's 5th floor was a little bigger than before, and it was just that the 5th floor had expanded due to the normal space expansion over the years, not that the 6th floor and the 7th floor were the same enter and grow. In other words, although the 6th and 7th floors are merged into the 5th floor, the space is not merged, and it is only the various monsters and beasts of these 2 floors that enter the 5th floor. "Little bastard, what are you thinking?" Gong Baihe touched Chen Zhang's handsome face. She had wanted to touch it for a long time. Seeing Chen Shang thinking seriously, she couldn't stop touching Chen Zhang's face. "Sister He, this is not very good." Chen Shang laughed, then grabbed Gong Baihe's jade hand. HMPH, when I was resting before, you touched my face a lot, and you even kissed my face. Gong Baihe also decided that Chen Shang was a little villain because of this, stingy little villain. Ah, you know so. Chen Shang was very embarrassed and said with a smile, then feel free to touch it. Gong Baihe touched Chen Shang casually, and then kissed Chen Zhang's face a few times. This aloof white crane fairy unknowingly started playing with Chen Shang. After they played for a while, Gong Baihe leaned on Chen Zhang's arms and discussed the next plan with Chen Shang. Sister He, I suspect that the 6th and 7th floors are compressed and placed somewhere on the 5th floor. Chen Shang said. How do you say? Is there a space entrance? Can you enter the 6th and 7th floors? Gong Baihe didn't quite understand. It shouldn't be, Chen Shang said. It's the 2 floors that turned into 2 islands, hidden somewhere on the 5th floor. I was just going around the edge of the 5th floor before, and didn't go to the center area. Gong Baihe leaned on Chen Zhang's chest, and when he spoke, his jade hand could not help slipping under Chen Zhang's clothes. Chen Shang just kissed her forehead, and then hugged her a little tighter. We have to find the trial town first. Chen Shang said. The trial town may be in the center of the 5th floor, it should be very dangerous there. Can you control Tianshuan space to pass? Gong Baihe asked. If you can, then this is the safest way. It should be possible. I will let the crystal eyeball outside determine the direction, and then control it. Chen Shang immediately closed his eyes, and after trying, Tianshuan space began to move. The Tianshuan space is in the inner space of the 5th floor, and the inner space is very large and chaotic, so it is not too easy to move, and it is not too expensive for Chen Shang. Chen Shang is seriously controlling the Tianshuan space. He is very serious at the moment, very handsome in Gong Baihe's eyes. Gong Baihe, who was tired of Chen Zhang's body, looked a little confused, and could not help but approached and kissed Chen Zhang's mouth. Chen Shang opened his eyes in shock, seeing Gong Baihe immersed in it, he could only cooperate and kiss her. Little villain, I'm still 1 step away from my cultivation realm. Do you know what's still missing? Gong Baihe and Chen Shang kissed for a while, then separated, looking at Chen Shang with a fascinated expression. What's wrong? Chen Zhang's eyes jumped. Entering my current state is to completely transform people. Gong Baihe said with a serious face, you have to feel all kinds of human beings. Little villain, you should understand. Is there really such a thing, or is it a reason you deliberately found? Chen Shang pouted. You should take it as such. I'm a woman, so I have to be a little reserved, I can't be very straightforward, right? Gong Baihe looked at Chen Shang tenderly, making Chen Zhang's heart rippling. Seeing her so charming, Chen Shang kissed her cheek, and then kissed again. The emotions of the two have been established at this time, and they are entering the hottest stage at this moment. Chen Shang was in the tender and intoxicated embrace of the beauty, he was sleeping soundly, but he was suddenly awakened by Gong Baihe. Little villain, there is a fight outside. Gong Baihe shook Chen Shang awake. Chen Shang got up and took a look, and saw Gong Baihe's snow-white incense with her back to him, and she was looking out through her crystal eyes. Isn't there anything serious? Chen Shang also immediately looked outside through his crystal eyes. I saw a fierce battle outside, 10 sect disciples, fighting a giant 9-headed beast. That 9-headed beast is as big as a hill, with 9 monkey heads with long necks, and a body in the shape of a giant tortoise, all 9 heads can be retracted into the giant tortoise shell. So strong. Those sect disciples are very strong. Chen Shang exclaimed, the sect disciples did not use divine weapons, yet they were able to fight on a par with such powerful beasts. This kind of thing should only be found on the 6th floor. Gong Baihe said solemnly, the strength of those sect disciples is similar to mine, but there are 10 of them, and they also have a special restraint divine power that can restrain that thing, to have this kind of pressure. The Temple of Time has helped those sect disciples a lot. Chen Shang said, Sister He, you must know that they were very weak before. I entered the 4th floor much earlier than them, and they were helped later to be able to quickly enter the 4th floor, and quickly come to the 5th floor. The help of the Temple of Time is really strong. Gong Baihe sighed faintly and said with some guilt, Little villain, if it wasn't for me, you might have agreed to the Temple of Time. I knew that you considered my feelings at the time, so you refused. There. Chen Shang hugged her from behind, kissed her cold and beautiful face, and said softly, I didn't like them at first. Don't worry, we can become strong without the help of the Temple of Time, and we can enter the next level smoothly. 1 layer. Then are we going to continue to hide here? We can't get stronger like this. Gong Baihe picked up the white dress next to him and put it on, and said, "We have to go hunting, get beast cores and refine them into beast pills, in order to become stronger." Quote. World Defying Dan God Chapter 5028, Counterspace. Gong Baihe put on his clothes and wanted to go out to hunt and kill beasts to get their cores. She heard that other sect disciples were originally very backward, and they made rapid progress because of the help of the Temple of Time. Chen Shang refused the invitation of the Temple of Time, but Gong Baihe thought that Chen Shang refused because of her at that time. Gong Baihe didn't know the horror of the 5th floor before, but now that she saw the despair of the 5th floor, she felt that joining the Temple of Time was not a bad thing. "Don't worry, I see those sect disciples, but they can't help the 9-headed monster," Chen Shang said. Although they got the help of the Temple of Time, they have indeed become stronger, but the changes on the 5th floor are too fast. If you get help, you won't be able to catch up. The sect disciples Chen Shang saw, although they were not disciples of the Tianzu sect, nor were they of the Emperor Zun sect, but they already possessed the same strength as Gong Baihe, which showed that the Temple of Time was really helpful. However, the beasts on the 5th floor are improving rapidly. According to the speed of change on the 5th floor, those sect disciples will definitely not be able to keep up with the growth rate of various beasts and monsters. Yi Guangding said before that their Temple of Time lost control of this tower, and they couldn't enter the 5th floor. It should be difficult for them to continue to help those sect disciples. Fortunately, we didn't accept their invitation, Chen Shang said. He and Gong Baihe had been watching the battle outside. Look at that 9-headed beast, he improved very quickly during the battle. He was learning while fighting. He was beaten at first, but now he is not so embarrassed. Chen Shang said, the beasts on the 5th floor and monsters have an amazing growth rate. Ah, Gong Baihe could of course see that the 9-headed beast was getting stronger, but he didn't expect so much. The Temple of Time can't interfere with the 5th floor, so they can't help those sect disciples here, Chen Shang said. And the things on the 5th floor grow so fast, if the disciples of the sect don't have the help of the Temple of Time, it's hard to catch up. The growth rate of the beast monster. Why is the 5th floor like this? Gong Baihe was very puzzled. Because the energy of the 6th and 7th floors has been released. Chen Shang said, I don't know the specifics, in short, it's a good thing for us. Why is it a good thing? Those things grow so fast, if we can't keep up, we won't be able to hunt them down at all, and we won't be able to enter the next level. Gong Baihe said. If you want to become stronger on the 5th floor, you don't need to hunt down beasts. Chen Shang said. This floor must have obvious variable power, we just need to find the variable power, and then refine it into a pill to absorb it. After the breakthrough, you can easily hunt down the beasts. Gong Baihe had heard Chen Shang talk about the power of variables before, so she also believed in Chen Shang. How can we find the power of variables? Gong Baihe asked. Is it not easy? After finding it, do we need to fight? Sister He, you said before that the 5th floor is not big, right? Chen Shang asked, then stroked her smooth soft white hair. Yes, you can fly around in a few days. Gong Baihe nodded and leaned into Chen Zhang's arms. The 5th floor should have 2 floors. Chen Shang said. Ah, is this because the 6th and 7th floors are merged? Gong Baihe asked in surprise. It's not. The 6th and 7th floors become part of the 5th floor, maybe like 2 mountains in the center of the 5th floor. Chen Shang said. That place is very dangerous, we don't need to go there for the time being. I don't understand the second layer of space. Gong Baihe shook his head. Chen Shang kissed her cheek, then hugged her, and said, the other space on the 5th floor, that environment, is very likely to be exactly the same as here, but time stands still. Why is this happening? Gong Baihe was even more puzzled. In order to block the power penetration of the Temple of Time. That's why this tower created that space, we have to find that space. Chen Shang said. Chen Shang suddenly became excited. If there was a variable power in that place, it would definitely have a great auxiliary effect on time or space. Using that variable power to cultivate a destiny would be of great benefit. I believe you will find it, go now. Gong Baihe said, I will protect you. I will carry you on my back like before. No, that space is close to this space. It's the anti-space of this positive space. Chen Shang smiled and said, we may be caught in the middle now. Then, he took out a board, placed 2 identical small stones on both sides of the board, and continued, the 2 spaces are exactly the same, which is equivalent to mirror copying this space, 1 front and 1 reverse pasted together. While speaking, he controlled this Tianshuan space to move slowly, and he wanted to move closer to another mirror space by moving the Tianshuan space. Chen Shang has cultivated the space lifestyle, so he has a strong perception of space. After he opened Tianshuan space before, he came into contact with a very strange space feeling, so he thought that the 5th floor was hiding another space. As Chen Shang moved the Tianshuan space indiscriminately, it also made him have a clearer feeling. Over there, Chen Shang was very happy, because he was very sure that he would soon be able to enter that mirror space. Sure enough, after Chen Shang approached, he opened a small mouth and released his crystal eyeballs. Chen Shang and Gong Baihe saw that mirrored space through their crystal eyeballs, and it was exactly the same as the one over there, but this mirrored space was full of grayish-yellow tones, and it was lifeless. The flow rate of time is very strange. Chen Shang said. If you stay in this mirror space for a short period of time, the positive space on the 5th floor will pass for many years. I don't know the specifics. Can we go in? Gong Baihe asked. Since it is a mirror space, will it copy everything in the normal space? For example, those terrible things. You can't just go in like this. Chen Shang shook his head and said, otherwise, we will lose a lot of time. We entered this space for an hour, and the 5th floor may have passed for decades, even hundreds of years. If we stay there for a day, won't they become stronger after we go back? Gong Baihe bit his lip lightly, it's not good for us. Yes, so we also have to control our time, release a time domain, and maintain the same positive space as the 5th floor. Chen Shang said, I'll try it now. Chen Shang immediately started, closed his eyes, and released his heavenly jade space divine power to try. More than an hour passed, Chen Shang frowned, opened his eyes, and shook his head again and again. Can't you? Gong Baihe said. No, this anti-space time is going against the flow, it's terrible. No wonder the Temple of Time can't control it. Chen Shang frowned and shook his head. I have to find another way. It was the first time that Chen Shang encountered such a strange thing, and it was difficult for him to understand it. World Defying Dan God Chapter 5029, Reversal Space. Gong Baihe had never experienced such a thing before, and it was even more difficult for her to understand it, so she admired Chen Shang even more, and actually knew so much of this supernatural power. Sister He, I have to go check it out. Chen Shang sat down and said, concentrate your mental power by the side to prevent other forces from interfering with me. Other forces? Aren't we in the Tianshuan space? Gong Baihe was a little puzzled and said, should other forces not be able to enter? No, I may stimulate something next, and then lead to being attacked. Chen Shang said, you pay more attention. Got it. Gong Baihe nodded. After Chen Shang sat down, he immediately began to investigate the anti-space. He believed that there must be some kind of force controlling the positive and negative space. He had to find out where the control was, and then reverse the time flow of the positive and negative space. In order to maintain the stability of the positive and negative space, the time flow velocity of the two spaces must be different. In order for Chen Shang to enter the anti-space to find the power of variables, he must make the time flow rate of the anti-space consistent with that of the positive space. Through the power of space life, he let his consciousness penetrate the space to explore, and soon found it. In the central area of the positive and negative space, there is indeed a space that controls time. He immediately released stronger divine power to interfere. Under his interference, that place also launched a counterattack, frantically attacking the Tianshuan space where he was. Gong Baihe, who had been prepared for a long time, felt it, and immediately counterattacked, using his powerful soul power and the powerful divine power in his body to block the infiltrating power. It didn't take long for Chen Shang to successfully control the time mechanism of the positive and negative space. Under his control, the time of the negative space and the positive space reversed. That is to say, after they enter that anti-space, even if they stay for a long time, the positive and negative space will only pass for a while, not for a long time. It's done. Chen Shang was a little excited and said with a smile, Sister He, we will enter this anti-space now. What will be in it? Gong Baihe was a little worried, because the anti-space environment made her very uneasy. She trusts her intuition very much. When in positive space, she can sense danger approaching through intuition, and it is very accurate every time. In the positive space, she will also feel uneasy, but that feeling is not as strong as it is now. Even if there is danger, we have to go and see it. Chen Shang said, because there is a variable power there, if you want to become stronger, you can only master that power and enter the next level. Yeah, Gong Baihe nodded and said, little villain, no matter what, I will stay by your side, and I will protect you. With Sister He by my side, I feel very at ease. Chen Shang hugged, then kissed her for a while, and said, let's go. He pulled Gong Baihe, opened the Tianquan space, and then entered the anti-space. The environment and terrain of the anti-space are very similar to the positive space, and Gong Baihe is more familiar with it. In her opinion, this space is the 5th floor of the year, because time has been stagnant, so there is no change. After they observed this anti-space in Tianquan space before, it was a grayish-yellow sky, and it was lifeless. That was because of the stagnation of time. Now with the flow of time, the anti-space begins to have energy pouring in. Chen Shang can sense that it is a very ancient creation force. The power of creation is ubiquitous with the passage of time. It can be said that where time passes, there is the power of creation. Anti-space is because time is stagnant, so the power of creation cannot flow. This place doesn't seem to be as bad as I thought. Gong Baihe took Chen Shang to fly in the air and was not attacked. They are flying very slowly now. If they were in positive space, at their flying speed, they would have been attacked many times. Everything here has already withered due to the stagnation of time. Even if it is not dead, it is still in a deep sleep. Chen Shang said, it will take a long time to recover. It should be like this. But why do I feel so uneasy? Gong Baihe clenched Chen Zhang's hand tightly and said, my intuition is not wrong. That's because there is indeed a very dangerous force here. Chen Shang smiled and said, it means we have come to the right place. Sister He, if you can sense where the danger is coming from, we may be able to find that place faster. It seems to be over there. Gong Baihe pointed in one direction, and then pulled Chen Shang to levitate better. Is it over there? Chen Shang looked into the distance, and there was a very thick gray-yellow fog shrouded in it, and he couldn't see anything. Yes, I'm sure. Gong Baihe nodded. Then let's go now, Chen Shang said. Okay, Gong Baihe said softly, little rascal, come on my back, I'll be better off with you. It's also faster. Okay, Chen Shang lay on Gong Baihe's back again, and then kissed her face. Gong Baihe's heart warmed, and then immediately flew forward. Her speed was really fast, and she also transformed into a pair of beautiful white wings. Chen Shang is not afraid of any danger, because he has a divine power in the heavenly jade space condensed in his body. If he encounters any danger, he can open the space crack at any time and enter the heavenly jade space to hide. After half a day, they finally flew into the thick gray-yellow fog. After entering, Chen Shang felt that the energy here was very wrong, but he couldn't tell. Gong Baihe's uneasiness became stronger and stronger. Chen Shang lay on her back and hugged her tightly. He could feel her tender body tightening. Sister He, take it easy. Chen Shang said, it should be all right. No, the front is really dangerous. Gong Baihe said in a very solemn voice, I feel that danger will strike at any time. Just as she finished speaking, a red shadow flashed over. In the thick gray-yellow fog, the red shadow shot straight at them like lightning. Although Gong Baihe was carrying Chen Shang, he avoided it very flexibly. What is that? Chen Shang said in horror. He didn't see clearly what it was. It's a person. Gong Baihe saw clearly, and said solemnly, it's not a beast, it's a person. There are many. Gong Baihe's intuition is really reliable. She has already felt it before she sees it. Chen Shang didn't feel anything about the people and beasts on the 5th floor, so he couldn't find out quickly. After realizing the danger, he immediately opened the crack in Tianquan space. Gong Baihe took her into the crack and hid in the Tianquan space. Chen Shang has already opened up the Tianquan space. When he needs it, it is very convenient to open the space crack to enter. Is it safe? Gong Baihe frowned and looked around, with a serious expression. Those people seem to be attacking us. Sure enough, Tianquan space began to tremble, and occasionally red light penetrated in. Those people who look like red shadows don't know what they are, but they have such terrifying power. World Defying Dan God Chapter 5030, Prisoner in Red. Don't panic, nothing will happen. Chen Shang took a deep breath, and then released Tianquan's space divine power to reinforce the space. Soon, the red light outside could no longer penetrate, and Tianquan's space gradually stabilized and stopped shaking. It's safe. Chen Shang took a long breath, and he felt quite worried, because the red light that penetrated in really gave people a great sense of oppression. Gong Baihe felt much more relaxed immediately, and then hugged Chen Shang from behind, his face pressed against Chen Zhang's back, his whole body seemed to be paralyzed. She was on the 5th floor, always living in fear. Although it is similar now, she is accompanied by a very reliable person, and she is also the one she loves, so even though she is very afraid of the 5th floor, she still has the courage to face it. Never mind, Chen Shang smiled, then put Gong Baihe in his arms, kissed her forehead, and stroked her beautiful oval face. I'm so scared. Gong Baihe snuggled into his arms and whispered, when I'm scared, there is someone to rely on, it's such a good feeling. When there is danger, it's Sister He who is protecting me. Chen Shang smiled, then kissed her and said, thank you. Gong Baihe smiled lightly, then continued to lean on Chen Zhang's arms, enjoying the warmth and tranquility. At this moment, Tianshuan's space began to tremble again. Are they still attacking? Gong Baihe began to get nervous again. Don't worry, they won't be able to attack, Chen Shang said. After the tremor continued for a while, it stopped again. But at this time, a voice suddenly came in. Who are you? Are you from the Temple of Time? The voice that came in was an old man. No, Chen Shang responded. Who are you guys? First tell me who you are. The old man asked. I am an alchemist, my name is Chen Shang. My woman, Gong Baihe, is walking with me. Chen Shang said. Is she your woman? She still looks like a beast. The old man sneered. You really got married? She has transformed into a human. Chen Shang said. Enter the realm of complete transformation. Even so, she is still an ancient beast. The old man said. Since its birth, the ancient beast has been branded as the Temple of Time, and she cannot escape the Temple of Time's control of her destiny. Chen Shang didn't understand why the old man said these words. He hugged Baihe Shagong tightly, not wanting her to be affected by these words. Who are you? Chen Shang asked. I'm a time cultivator. The old man said. We originally came from the Temple of Time, but we were sacrificed by the Temple of Time. We were unwilling, so we resisted the Temple of Time. This tower has become like this, are you doing it? Chen Shang immediately thought of it. Forget it, but this tower is out of control now. We just wanted to stop the operation of this tower, but we didn't expect it to be out of control. The old man said, it seems that you are the one who entered this tower for experience. With your ability, it is enough to become a time cultivator. I won't become a time cultivator, I have already refused the help of a time cultivator. Chen Shang said. I just want to go to the end now, and then leave this tower. Reject the time cultivator. What's the situation? The old man didn't know these things. Afterwards, tell him about Chen Shang Yi Guangding and the elders of the beast domain. Yi Guangding and elder beast domain. They actually want to help you. The old man was shocked. It's not just them, those who enter the Immortal War Profound Demon Pagoda will get their help. Chen Shang said. But the condition is to promise them that after passing the trial, they must join the Temple of Time. Why don't you join? The old man asked. I don't know anything about the Temple of Time, what if it's an abyss? After I join, it may be irreversible, and it will be very difficult to escape. Chen Shang said. Smart man, you are really smart, the old man sighed repeatedly. Senior, I have no hostility towards you guys. I entered here just to find the power of variables. Chen Shang said. The power of variables. The old man was surprised. What is that? Every floor of this tower has the power of variables. It is because of this power that the Temple of Time has completely lost control of this tower. Chen Shang said. In other words, the Immortal War Profound Demon Tower is in order to get rid of time and space. The shackles of self-cultivation, the power of variables. So, who are you? Why do you know so much? Many things, it took us many years to understand everything, and you understand everything as soon as you come in. The old man exclaimed again, you are really just an alchemist. Is it? To tell you the truth, I'm from the world-defying universe. That's a place that the Time Temple can't control. The timeline of the world-defying universe is unique, and the Time Temple can't go to other timelines of the world-defying universe. They can't see the past and future of the world-defying universe. Chen Shang said. Does such a place really exist? The old man was shocked. Since you are a time cultivator, then you should have the ability to see a person's past and future, right? Chen Shang asked. Yes, said the old man. Chen Shang looked at Gong Baihe. Although Gong Baihe was a little worried, he nodded and agreed to go out with him to meet the old man. Chen Shang took Gong Baihe out, and they also saw that old man. The old man was tall and thin, wearing a red robe, looking very old, as if the oil was running out of light, and he would die at any time. Although the old man looked very old, his eyes were bright and sharp. He looked at Chen Shang, then at Gong Baihe, and was amazed again and again. There were 6 old men beside him, and they were also very old. When they looked at Chen Shang, they were very shocked. "You are the only one," the old man exclaimed. "Yes, that's what the time cultivators said," Chen Shang said with a smile. "The so-called one and only means that there will be no other Chen Shang. Like Guo Lingshe and Madian Yao, they have another self. Gong Baihe also has 2 hers in different timelines, but they are all dead. Several seniors, although we had a little conflict before, it was all a misunderstanding." Chen Shang clasped his fists and said, "Since the misunderstanding is resolved, then I hope you seniors will stop blocking us." "Are you going to go deeper?" The old man in the lead said, "I am Huo Yongfei, they are all my subordinates. I promise not to attack you again." "Yes, we have to go further." Chen Shang nodded and said, "I must find the power of variables. I'm willing to walk with you and help you find the power of variables." Huo Yongfei said, "But I hope Brother Shen can take us out of here. We have been trapped here for many years. If we don't go out, we will die of old age here." "No problem," Chen Shang nodded and agreed to them. Do you like this site? Donate here. World Defying Dan God Chapter 5031, Aerial Snake Area. Chen Shang could see at a glance, these few people are already too old to die. They can live in a few days, but their strength is still there. In order to leave here, they will definitely do their best to help him. Gong Baihe did not relax his vigilance, but stayed close to Chen Zhang's side, protecting Chen Shang at all times. The time in this space has flowed, and there will be a world creation force coming in. Chen Shang said, "This should ease your current situation." "No." Huo Yongfei shook his head and said, "As long as this happens suddenly, we will not be able to absorb the power of creation." "Why?" Chen Shang frowned and said, "I can absorb the power of creation, so you should be able to too. Because we are all time cultivators. Although the time here starts to run, the power of creation cannot match us." Huo Yongfei said, "That is to say, the power of creation here has been transformed by time, and we need to absorb that this kind of creative power that has not been transformed by time will do." Chen Shang didn't understand it too well, and nodded his head as if he didn't understand. They began to fly deeper, and according to Gong Baihe's induction, there was the power of variables there. When flying in that direction, Huo Yongfei's eyes were full of solemn expressions. "Senior Huo, is there anything scary in that direction? Have you been there before?" Chen Shang asked. "We haven't been there, because once we get close, we will be blocked by a force." Huo Yongfei said, "There are indeed some strong things over there. Can you fight?" Gong Baihe asked. "If the number is small, we can beat it. If there are too many, we can only see the situation." Huo Yongfei said, "But don't worry, we will protect you from finding that kind of variable power." "Senior Huo, do you know what the power of variables is?" Chen Shang could see that Huo Yongfei should know a little. "That's the power that this tower realizes by itself in order to get rid of the Temple of Time, which can make it transcend everything." Huo Yongfei said, "We have also been exposed to this power before, but we can't absorb it." "What kind of state are you in when you are exposed to the power of variables?" Chen Shang asked curiously. "There is a big tree in the center in front," Huo Yongfei said. "Although we can't get close, some leaves from that tree will float out from time to time. Those leaves are golden, which is the power of variables." "What? The power of variable is a tree?" This made Chen Shang very surprised. "Yes, the fruit on that tree contains the most variable power." Huo Yongfei said, "Since you can come here, there must be a way to get close to that tree." Chen Shang nodded. They entered the gray-yellow foggy area, where the atmosphere was very chaotic. Huo Yongfei and the others began to surround Chen Shang and Gong Baihe, and they were flying in the middle. It could be seen that this was to protect them, and it could be seen that there would be danger in this area. After flying like this for a short time, Huo Yongfei suddenly shouted, "There is a situation." Gong Baihe also sensed danger approaching at this time. She quickly grabbed Chen Zhang's hand. As long as the situation was not right, Chen Shang released the Tianshuan space, and she could immediately take Chen Shang to get in. Chen Shang also saw something close to them, a giant snake covered in colorful colors. There are dozens of giant snakes approaching. The body as thick as a water tank looks very light and flexible and floats in the air. Shock! When Huo Yongfei drank, he saw a loud explosion all around him. The giant snakes that approached were all shaken and flew out, and then they flew faster. Why is there such a thing here? Chen Shang said in surprise. They all survived by eating the leaves of that tree. Huo Yongfei said, after the time in this space stopped, the beasts devoured each other, and the last remaining beasts lived by eating the leaves of that tree. Can't you eat leaves? Chen Shang asked. We also ate it, but we couldn't absorb the energy. Huo Yongfei said, we all survived by absorbing the very weak energy in the beasts. Eat those big snakes. Chen Shang looked behind him, there were no big snakes nearby. That kind of thing can't be eaten, even their animal cores have very strange and highly toxic energy. Huo Yongfei said, I tried it once and was almost poisoned to death. This kind of thing is not poisonous, in order to I won't be eaten, so I've got poison all over my body. So when they encountered this kind of giant poisonous snake, Huo Yongfei and the others just flew to the distance, too lazy to fight the giant snake. There are many poisonous snakes flying in the air along the way. The empty space in this area seems to be a sea of AA snakes, everywhere, densely packed. And the ground is where these venomous snakes lay their eggs, so they can only fly over from the air. In the anti-space of the 5th floor, in the end, only this kind of poisonous snake can survive, because only they can eat leaves for a living. Along the way, Chen Shang and the others were attacked dozens of times by poisonous snakes, and they were all blocked by Huo Yongfei. Without their help, Chen Shang and Gong Baihe would not be able to move an inch. They also walked slowly because they had to fight snakes and avoid swarms of snakes. For 2 or 3 days, it was only a short flight. It seems to be here. Huo Yongfei said, did you see that there is a transparent wall in front of you? Chen Shang didn't see it, but he approached and touched it, and said in surprise, sure enough, there is a wall. It's this wall blocking us, we can't get close to that tree. Huo Yongfei said. Chen Shang looked inside, it was still a thick gray-yellow fog, and he couldn't see any big trees. How do you know there is a big tree inside? Gong Baihe asked. There was not that much fog before, but now there are more and more, and it seems to be released by that tree. Huo Yongfei said, I don't know why it is like this. Can I go in? Gong Baihe looked at Chen Shang and asked in a low voice. It should be possible, I'll try it. Chen Shang took a deep breath, and then released Tianxuan's space divine power to condense in his hands. His hands overflowed with a faint golden glow, and then stretched out to the transparent space wall in front. His hand penetrated easily, indicating that he can pass through. He put Gong Baihe into the 6-path divine mirror, while Huo Yongfei and the others entered another storage space. Chen Shang passed by himself outside. Gong Baihe didn't agree at first, because Chen Zhang's own actions were too dangerous, but there was no other way. Chen Shang passed through the space wall very smoothly, and then released them. Finally here, Huo Yongfei and the others were very excited. This wall had blocked them for many years, but Chen Shang could easily pass through it as soon as he arrived, which made them greatly admire. There shouldn't be any danger here, right? Chen Shang looked around, and there was still a lot of grayish-yellow fog. World Defying Dan God Chapter 5032, The Sacred Tree and the Golden Monkey. What the asterisk is going on with these fogs? You can see it, you can't touch it, and you can't absorb it. Chen Shang was puzzled along the way, he thought he could figure out what was going on by getting close to that tree, but after entering, he still couldn't absorb it. This is not some dust energy, but it is floating in the sky and the earth, and it is very rich, and it is impossible to fish it out. If it was an aerosol, it could be moved by hand, or by releasing a gust of wind, it would be able to blow the thick grayish-yellow fog, but Chen Shang tried several times on the road, but it didn't work. It's the energy that we can't absorb. Huo Yongfei said, this kind of energy is everywhere. The reason why those big snakes are hidden in the thick fog should be able to absorb it. Gong Baihe saw that Chen Shang couldn't understand it, so she didn't understand it even more, she just felt that this place was very familiar, and she didn't know why she felt this way. This kind of energy can't be absorbed normally, and it can't be absorbed by touching it, so there is only one possibility. Chen Shang said with a frown. The power of time. Huo Yongfei shook his head and said, it shouldn't be. If it is the power of time, then we should not see it, and there will be no such color. They are now flying cautiously in the air, not too fast for fear of hitting something. Reverse time power. Chen Shang said, it is a kind of time power. I guess, if time power has yin and yang, this is the yin time power. It was the first time that Huo Yongfei had heard such a statement, but he also recognized it in his heart. This space can prevent the Temple of Time from infiltrating. As long as time can operate normally, the Temple of Time can penetrate in. Huo Yongfei said, and the space we are in has this kind of power that inhibits the operation of time. Maybe this kind of energy you can restrain the Temple of Time. Let's find the big tree and talk about it. Chen Shang said, since we've all come here, we'll soon be able to figure out what's going on. Huo Yongfei arranged for two of his subordinates to fly at the front to prevent something approaching in front of him. After they passed through the space wall, they flew slowly for a long time, and then they saw the big tree. This big tree shocked Chen Shang and the others. Even Huo Yongfei did not expect the tree to grow to such a degree. Chen Shang and Gong Baihe, plus Huo Yongfei and the other 7, stood on a golden leaf. And this leaf is as huge as a square. This is still a relatively small leaf, a larger leaf that can build a city. As for the branches and trunks, that's even bigger. Chen Shang and the others looked at the huge wall emitting a strong golden light in front of them. That was a branch. The branches are densely packed, each of which is very thick and has golden bark on the outside. In front of them, these branches are a huge wall, and it is impossible to see all of them. It's too big. Compared with the giant tree, Chen Shang and the others looked like tiny dust. When we saw it, it wasn't that big. Huo Yongfei was shocked and said, at that time, a leaf was only as big as us. Now, the smallest leaves are the size of a square, and the largest leaves are even comparable to a city. Let's go look for the fruit. Chen Shang suddenly got a little excited and said, I don't know how big the fruit is. It must be very big. Huo Yongfei said. The group of them flew upwards quickly, without encountering any danger along the way. They also thought it was very strange that there were no powerful creatures born around this tree, which was unreasonable. Be careful, Huo Yongfei shouted suddenly, because a golden light fell from the sky. Gong Baihe immediately pulled Chen Shang away from him. Huo Yongfei and the others were also very frightened and hurriedly dodged. The golden light fell, and a tall and strong monkey in golden armor appeared. It looked at Huo Yongfei and Chen Shang, and said, who are you and how did you enter the Holy Land? We came from outside, Huo Yongfei said hurriedly after being surprised, we have no ill intentions. If you were malicious to the divine tree, you would have already died. The golden monkey's voice was rather stern, and he said, let's go. Idle people can't approach the divine tree, so I'll let you go this time. The strength of the golden monkey must be very strong. Huo Yongfei was too frightened. But they can't go, because they are here to find the power of variables. The fruit of this tree is obviously the power of variables. We are here to find the power of variables. Chen Shang said, the fruit of the divine tree should be the power of variables. Seeing Chen Shang talking, the golden monkey immediately looked over, and then looked at Gong Baihe. Who are you? Why can't I see your past or your future? Jin Monkey was very surprised. He is the only person. Huo Yongfei quickly explained. Several of us are the time monks who have been imprisoned, and this little brother comes from a universe that is not controlled by the Temple of Time. He takes us into the Holy Land. Come with me. After the golden monkey finished speaking, he flew up. Chen Shang and the others are very puzzled. Why is the golden monkey willing to take them now? Is it because of Chen Shang? With doubts, they followed the golden monkey and flew up. Brother monkey, what kind of tree is this? Chen Shang asked. Suppressing the divine tree of time. Said the golden monkey, it can suppress time. Is it to fight against the Temple of Time? Chen Shang said in surprise. Yes, time temple abuse. Time makes multiple space-time messy, causing countless time and space to be confused, and many destiny has become very chaotic. Golden monkey said, so we must suppress the Temple of Time and end this chaos. Quote. Yes, time temple likes to disturb the order of time and space. Huo Yongfei said. When we were time monks, we were sent to disturb the time and space, or caught people with multiple different time circles and let them meet. Why does the Temple of Time do this? Gong Baihe asked. They said, let different timelines collide, let them make something, and then create. This can create many miracles. Huo Yongfei said. The last hair is out of control, starting to correct chaos. Although they created a lot of chaos, I have to say, this kind of chaos does create miracles. Said the golden monkey, this sacred tree of the town is a miracle. Brother monkey, are you the guardian of the Junshi divine tree? Chen Shang asked. Our entire group is the guardian of this tree. Said the golden monkey. Fortunately, you met me. If you meet someone who is short-tempered, you will surely die. Thank you, Your Excellency, for welcoming us. Huo Yongfei breathed a sigh of relief. Let's take you to see our king first, said the golden monkey. Let's see if it agrees with you to pick the divine fruit. Is the divine fruit big? Chen Shang asked. It's not big, the mature divine fruit is actually not as big as you think, said the golden monkey, also knowing that Chen Shang and the others thought the fruit would be huge. World Defying Dan God Chapter 5033, Cut Off Time. Chen Shang and the others saw that the tree was so big, and naturally they felt that the fruit was definitely not small. The golden monkey said it was not big, they couldn't imagine how small the fruit would be, because it was not reasonable. Under the leadership of the golden monkey, Chen Shang and the others followed to a tree hole. It was really amazing to be able to open a tree hole in this tree. When Chen Shang was on the road, he tried it and found this tree very sturdy. The golden monkey said that there are many monkeys here, but they are scattered all over the place, and only some small monkeys will be in the tree hole. After entering the tree hole, Chen Shang and the others soon saw the Monkey King. There is only the Monkey King himself in this tree hole. The Monkey King is covered in brown fur and leans on a cane in his hand. He looks very old and tall, but his body is much thinner. The golden monkey next to him exudes golden light, and his body is burly, giving people a very powerful feeling. The Monkey King is not only old, but also looks very frail. After many years, someone can finally come here. Sure enough, they are not ordinary people. The Monkey King looked at Chen Shang, his deep eyes full of wisdom. Your Excellency Monkey King, are you waiting for someone to come? Chen Shang asked. Forget it. Somewhere in the world, someone will come here. The Monkey King laughed. I just didn't expect it to be so fast. There were 9 of them in Chen Zhang's group. After the Monkey King saw them, he looked directly at Chen Shang, indicating that he could see the extraordinariness of Chen Shang. Your Excellency Monkey King, what is your relationship with this tower? Huo Yongfei next to him asked. I always feel that you have a deep connection with this tower. This tower is a very small universe. We are just creatures born from this universe. The Monkey King laughed. There are many creatures in this tower, but most of them are from the ancient time and space. And we are completely from this. It was created by the tower. Since Your Excellency Monkey King said to wait for us, then what kind of mission do we have to shoulder? Chen Shang asked. I don't know. You can come here, and it's so special, it must be related to this tower. The Monkey King said. And what we have to do is to take you to see the gods of the town. Fruit of the tree. Okay, Chen Shang nodded. He didn't say much, since it was the meaning of this tower, then he could just do it. He now knows that the Immortal War Profound Demon Tower is to fight against the Temple of Time, and the reason for the confrontation is to maintain the order of time and end the chaos under the management of the Temple of Time. At present, this tower already has this ability. He was also curious, why did the Shenzhen Xuanmo Tower grow to such a degree? The Temple of Time can't help it. The Monkey King took Chen Shang and the others to fly in the tree hole, and told them that the fruit of the divine tree of the town is inside. They flew in the passage of the tree hole for a long time and came to a very spacious space with many vines. There are golden fruits on the vines, only the size of a fist. Compared to this tree, such a fruit is indeed too small. This is the fruit of the Junshi divine tree, said the Monkey King. There are so many in total, 500. You haven't eaten. Chen Shang frowned. We can't eat it, we can't even pick it off. The Monkey King finished, motioning for the golden monkey to go over to pick it. The golden monkey flew over, grabbed a golden fruit, and then pulled it vigorously. Even the vine could not be pulled. Afterwards, the golden monkey released waves of powerful golden divine power to bombard the fruits inside, but there was no movement at all. The golden monkey also released a strong flame to burn it, but it didn't work at all. That's the case. The Monkey King sighed. Maybe, we are just guardians and are not qualified to enjoy the fruit. Can I try it? Huo Yongfei asked. Yes. The Monkey King nodded. Huo Yongfei flew over with his men, and they used all kinds of powerful forces, but they couldn't get a single fruit. In the end, Chen Shang and Gong Baihei tried in the past, and they were also unable to pick the fruit of the Junshi divine tree. It doesn't work either. Chen Shang frowned and said, this is amazing. No power can shake it. Yes, the vines seem to be very thin, why is it useless? Gong Baihei was also very surprised. Because of time. The Monkey King laughed and said, Our time is inconsistent with the time of the divine fruit. The divine fruit takes advantage of the inconsistency of time to form a defense. That is to say, no matter how strong we are, when we attack the divine fruit, they will all be consumed by the divine fruit using the power of time. Incomprehensible, Chen Shang sighed. Your power has been stretched for thousands of years by Shengguo to wear off. If thousands of years are not enough, tens of thousands of years. Our attack seems to be only an instant, but Shengguo has spent tens of thousands of years to wear off strength, and even absorb our power. Huo Yongfei took a deep breath, his face showing fear. That's exactly what it means. The Monkey King nodded and said, if you want to take down the divine fruit, you have to cut off time. And none of us have this ability. It is really difficult to pick the divine fruit by cutting off time. And Chen Shang was very excited at the moment. If he also mastered the ability of the divine fruit, wouldn't he be invincible? I understand, I'll give it a try. Chen Shang took a deep breath, and then started to run the divine power of Tianxuan. He wants to use the power of space to influence time. Chen Shang approached a vine again, and then snorted, condensing the divine power of Tianxuan space at his fingertips. As the heavenly jade space divine power he condensed became stronger and stronger, space fluctuations appeared around his fingertips, and there were even space cracks from time to time. What a powerful space force! How did he do it? The Monkey King said in horror, the old eyes widened. The golden monkey is also stunned. This powerful space force seems to be able to tear apart all space. Chen Zhang's whole body was tense, and in one breath, he concentrated the extremely strong heavenly jade space divine power at his fingertips, and then he tapped the connection between the divine fruit and the vine, and saw that the divine fruit fell instantly. Come on, the Monkey King exclaimed. Huo Yongfei and the others also used them one after another, once again admiring Chen Shang. Chen Shang obtained the divine fruit, and his whole body was also paralyzed to the ground. Gong Baihe hurriedly stepped forward to support Chen Shang. I'm fine. Chen Shang looked at Shen Guo, very excited, and said with a smile, this thing is very powerful. Look, the Monkey King shouted in surprise, pointing to the vine that Chen Shang had just picked up the divine fruit. A small flower appeared there, and then the small flower quickly withered, turned into a small fruit, and finally grew a divine fruit. In a very short period of time, a divine fruit was born. Chen Shang looked at the divine fruit in his hand again. There was no change. He couldn't help but be amazed again and again. Could it be that the divine fruit is inexhaustible? Chen Shang said excitedly. Even if you take it off, I'm afraid it will be difficult to absorb, right? Huo Yongfei frowned. This thing looks hard to chew. World Defying Dan God Chapter 5034, Junshi Shengguo. Brother Shen, can you take it for me? Said the Monkey King. He has already regarded this divine fruit as Chen Zhang's, and he thinks that if he can't get it, he is not qualified to have it. Of course, Chen Shang handed it to him. The Monkey King opened his palm and took the divine fruit that Chen Shang handed over. It just reached his palm, but it disappeared immediately. What's going on? The Monkey King asked in surprise. It's back again. Chen Shang looked at his hand and was also very surprised. It came back by itself. It's really amazing. I didn't pick the divine fruit, so I don't recognize me. The Monkey King sighed. I don't deserve it. The Monkey King originally thought that Chen Shang could pick it off and then give him one or two to eat, but now it seems that this divine fruit will deliberately avoid him. Gong Baihe also said that he wanted to touch it. Chen Shang handed it to her palm. She immediately grabbed it, but it was empty. The golden divine fruit immediately returned to Chen Zhang's hand, as fast as a teleportation. Chen Shang had no choice but to shake his head. Afterwards, he handed them to Jin Monkey and Huo Yongfei respectively. Without exception, they couldn't catch the fruit, and they all ran back to Chen Zhang's hands by themselves. It seems that this thing only recognizes me. Chen Shang smiled helplessly. Can you eat it? Gong Baihe asked. Since it recognizes you, it should also be eaten and absorbed, right? Chen Shang looked at the divine fruit in his hand. He was not sure if he could eat it, but he felt that it was difficult to refine. The outer shell of the divine fruit was very firm and hard to digest. You can't eat it directly, you have to make it into a pill. Chen Shang smiled and said, I don't know what will happen if you eat it. Chen Shang looked at the divine fruit in his hand and felt very dangerous. This kind of divine fruit is very difficult to pick in the first place, and I don't know how many years it has grown, and I don't know how much energy it contains. Even if it is made into a pill, Chen Shang doesn't dare to take the risk of eating it, because he is worried that something will go wrong. It can't be refined. The Monkey King shook his head and said, this kind of divine fruit is so powerful, it's easier said than done to use it for alchemy. Yes. Huo Yongfei also nodded, because in their knowledge, it is difficult for an alchemist to do it. The Monkey King's knowledge of alchemy masters was learned through those outsiders. When he was young, he often went outside and met many people who were close to the Holy Land, so he also knew a little. Although Huo Yongfei was trapped here for many years, he also stayed in the ancient time and space, and he was quite familiar with alchemy at that time. Gong Baihe thought that Chen Shang would definitely succeed, because she knew that Chen Zhang's alchemy skills were very high. She didn't know anything about alchemy before, but after seeing Chen Shang refining beast pills, she knew very well that Chen Zhang's alchemy skills were extremely clever. I'll give it a try. Chen Shang wasn't too sure, because this kind of divine fruit was too weird, so he didn't know what to do. Then we won't disturb Brother Shen, said the Monkey King, we'll wait for him outside. They left the result area and waited in the passage outside. Now only Chen Shang and Gong Baihe are here. For the sake of safety, Chen Shang brought Gong Baihe into the Tianxuan space. Even in this place, Chen Shang can still enter the heavenly jade space. It can be seen that his heavenly jade space is very powerful. Even in this place, he can enter at any time. Little bastard, after you've made the pill, don't rush to eat it. Gong Baihe said, try it for the Monkey King. Why? Chen Shang frowned and said, the divine fruit will definitely have a great effect when it is made into a pill, why should you give it to him first? I'm worried about the danger. The Monkey King looks like he's dying, he's definitely not afraid. Gong Baihe said, if it works, then you can continue to take the divine fruit and then refine the divine pill. If there is danger, it will be borne by others. Gong Baihe hoped that Chen Shang would do this, so that it would be safer. Monkey King is still quite strong, even if he encounters any mistakes, he can survive. Chen Shang was different, that was very precious, and he shouldn't personally try this dangerous divine pill. All right, Chen Shang nodded. If it's useful, you can also give the Monkey King a favor. After all, he is very polite to entertain us here. That's right, so give it to him first. If he doesn't eat it, give it to the golden monkey. The golden monkey looks very hard, and even if something goes wrong, it can survive. Gong Baihe said. If they don't eat it, let Huo Yongfei eat it. He is about to die of old age, and he must be happy to give it a shot. Gong Baihe said. In short, there is a way to let them eat. Chen Shang knew that Gong Baihe was worried about himself, but considering this, why was he too cautious? Chen Shang released the magic treasure furnace and the 9 treasures divine air formation to assist him. He used this method to refine many beast pills successfully, and they were all very smooth. Now he has a lot of experience. In his opinion, refining this divine fruit is no different from refining beast pills. Not long after the divine fruit was put in, Chen Shang proceeded like refining the beast core before. He needed to release the eternal flame, and then cooperate with the divine power of Tianxuan fate and space fate. The divine fruit quickly melted away, and then entered condensation stage. Things that were difficult in the eyes of the Monkey King and the others became very simple in Chen Zhang's hands, and could even be said to be easy. Little bastard, you are really fast at alchemy. Gong Baihe once again marveled at Chen Zhang's alchemy skills. His eyes couldn't help showing a hint of pride. After all, this is her man. That's it, Chen Shang said with a smile. This is not particularly difficult for me. Chen Shang felt that it was easier than refining beast pills, and he didn't know why this was the case. In the process of refining pills, the time would speed up the same. In just over an hour, that divine fruit turned into a dark golden pill. It's done, Chen Shang giggled and said. Sister He, look, there is no danger at all, you can eat it with confidence. No, Gong Baihe was worried, and hurriedly stepped forward to stop it. In order to prevent Chen Shang from eating, she even kissed Chen Shang directly, and then the two hugged together. After Chen Shang made out with Gong Baihe, he calmed down and put on his clothes. He did almost eat that pill just now. Gong Baihe said while wearing his clothes. Little rascal, we agreed to give it to the Monkey King. Let someone else try the pills for you first. Is this your intuition? Chen Shang hugged her in his arms, and then helped her organize her clothes. It's my intuition. Gong Baihe nodded. I trust your intuition. Chen Shang smiled and kissed her face. Chen Shang and Gong Baihe came out of the Tianxuan space, and the Monkey King and the others were also outside. Because they were waiting in the passage, they didn't sense the aura of Chen Shang and Gong Baihe inside, so they came in to take a look. Seeing Chen Shang and Gong Baihe coming out of Tianquan space, they were relieved. Your Excellency Monkey King, look at this pill. As soon as Chen Shang came out, he took out the divine pill made from the divine fruit. World Defying Dan God Chapter 5035, Space Occult. Chen Shang was in the Tianquan space just now, and this pill was handed over to Gong Baihe and held in his hand, and he would not run away. In the past, when it was still the god of time, when it was in the hands of others, it would immediately return to Chen Zhang's hands. This is the divine elixir made from the divine fruit of Junshi. The Monkey King was shocked and said, "Did you control the time to speed up? Why did you create the elixir so quickly?" Not only the Monkey King, Huo Yongfei and the others were also in disbelief, looking at the divine pill in Chen Zhang's hand. "It's not difficult for me," Chen Shang suddenly said in a serious tone, "Your Excellency Monkey King, to be honest. I'm worried that this pill is dangerous, so I don't dare to eat it." "You want me to try pills?" Monkey King said. "Your cultivation is not high, if you eat it, if you encounter other situations, it is really difficult to handle." "Let me try it." Huo Yongfei stepped forward and wanted to try this pill. "Senior Huo, you are too weak." Chen Shang shook his head and said, "Your Excellency Monkey King is the most suitable." "I am indeed suitable." The Monkey King smiled slightly, "and I have nothing to be afraid of now. If I die because of this, then I have no regrets, I have lived enough anyway." The Golden Monkey was a little worried and wanted to try Dan instead of the Monkey King, but he also knew that this was a chance for the Monkey King. If nothing happens, then the Monkey King may be able to become young because of this. The reason why the Monkey King is so old is because no matter how much he absorbs the power of creation, he cannot maintain the aging of his soul and body. Once the soul begins to age, the body will follow suit. Even if a young body is replaced, it will rapidly age with the soul. That's why Huo Yongfei rushed to try Dan before, and he also tried it with a gamble mentality. "I'm starting," the Monkey King said with a solemn expression, and then ate the divine pill. As soon as he swallowed it, his face changed. Then the body began to twist, and it was obvious that he was in great pain. The most terrifying thing is that there is a field around him, distorting the time and space around him. Not good. Chen Shang immediately released the divine power of Tianquan to maintain the space-time around the Monkey King. Once it was distorted, the Monkey King might disappear or fall into a very chaotic time-space turbulence. The most terrifying thing happened. After the pill burst, a lot of vines appeared from the Monkey King's body. The vines swung wildly, as if to come into contact with other vines in this place. You must know that the place where they are now is the place where the sacred tree of the town bears its divine fruit. There are many vines here, and now those vines also resonate with the vines in the Monkey King's body. If this continues, Your Excellency the Monkey King will become a part of the divine tree. Chen Shang immediately released the eternal flame, cooperated with the divine power of the heavenly calculation space, and injected it into the Monkey King's body. Chen Shang suspected that there was too much divine tree energy in the Monkey King's body, and those divine tree energy activated the properties of divine pills, so a large number of tree vines exploded. If it can't be dealt with now, the Monkey King will definitely be taken away by other vines of the divine tree and become part of the divine tree, and will never be reincarnated. Chen Shang also had lingering fears. If he ate it himself, there would definitely be other problems. Fortunately, Gong Baihe insisted on letting the Monkey King try the pill. If something happened to Chen Shang, other people would not be able to help him deal with it, and he might become part of the divine tree by then. With the help of Chen Shang, the situation in the Monkey King's body was suppressed, and the energy of the divine pill was still undiminished, and it was refined with the help of Chen Shang. Although it was very thrilling just now, fortunately Chen Shang handled it in time, otherwise the Monkey King would have been gone. With the help of Chen Shang, the pill was gradually suppressed, and then the Monkey King needed to refine it by himself. It's very dangerous. Chen Shang wiped his sweat and said, "It seems that the divine pill has to be improved." Chen Shang now has a general idea of where the problem lies. The main reason is the consciousness that the divine fruit belongs to the divine tree, and it has not been completely refined. Chen Shang did not refine it completely before. Therefore, after the power of Shendan was activated, it immediately resonated with the tree of God, and then attracted each other, and the Monkey King was almost absorbed into the tree. It's not the divine tree's intention. Even if the divine tree absorbs 10,000 of us, it won't do much. Chen Shang said. It should be just an instinctive reaction of the divine fruit. Next, Chen Shang went to get another divine fruit, and then went to alchemy. This time, he had to completely refine the divine tree consciousness inside the divine fruit, or else the situation just now would happen again. When Chen Shang went to get the divine fruit, Gong Baihe said that Chen Shang would give Huo Yongfei the next pill to try. Huo Yongfei is very happy now, because in his eyes, nothing major will happen, and even if there is a major event, Chen Shang will bear it. Brother Shen, if the divine pill can help me prolong my life, I will definitely reward you. Huo Yongfei just wanted to live a few more years. Try it first. Your body is not as good as your Excellency Monkey King. If something happens, I can't guarantee that I will be able to deal with it. Chen Shang warned. There are still risks. After Chen Shang said this, he entered the Tianquan space to make pills. Huo Yongfei was outside, watching the Monkey King getting younger, and his heart was even more excited. This means that after he eats it, he can quickly become young and prolong his life. In order to completely refine the meaning of the divine tree, Chen Shang spent a lot of time this time, repeatedly refining it, so it took more than 10 hours to come out. After he came out, he saw that the Monkey King had become very young and strong, and he looked no different from the golden monkey next to him. Just one pill has such an effect, which makes Huo Yongfei very envious. Although there are certain risks, Huo Yongfei is also willing to try. Brother Shen, this is my family's greatest treasure. Seeing Chen Shang coming out, Huo Yongfei took out a box and expressed his sincerity. Senior Huo, you are too polite. Chen Shang said with a smile, you are just helping me test my pills. No, this is the chance that Brother Shen gave me. Huo Yongfei said with a smile, please accept it. The treasure of family heirloom may not be useful to Brother Shen, but it is the only thing in my hands. What is this? Chen Shang opened the box and asked. The space secret technique of the ancient time and space. Huo Yongfei said, I'm too stupid to learn it. But Brother Shen has such a good control of space, he can definitely use it. This space secret technique can also be used to refine tools. A talisman or something, it has a wide range of uses. The space divine power of Tianquan cultivated by Chen Shang really needs to be used for it. Many thanks to Senior Huo. Chen Shang also accepted it politely, and then handed the divine pill over. Huo Yongfei took it excitedly and put it in his mouth to eat it. World-Defying Dan God Chapter 5036, Mysterious Sapling. Chen Shang and the others all looked at Huo Yongfei, and at the same time slowly backed away. They were all worried about what happened to Huo Yongfei. The Monkey King had a lot of noise before. If it wasn't for Chen Zhang's help, the Monkey King himself wouldn't be able to stand it. Senior Huo, how do you feel? Chen Shang asked, can you speak? After Huo Yongfei ate it, his eyes were tightly closed, and he didn't look particularly painful. He didn't make a sound, and he didn't know what was going on. After Chen Zhang's question, Huo Yongfei did not answer, but suddenly sat on the ground with his legs crossed, as if he was about to start refining. Chen Shang and the others can only observe from a distance. Huo Yongfei is not doing anything now. This is at least a good news. Unlike the Monkey King before, his body still grows vines. There shouldn't be a problem this time, right? Gong Baihe next to him whispered. She also hoped that the divine pill that Chen Shang refined would be normal, so that she could eat it at that time. It's hard to say. Chen Shang shook his head. He himself wasn't sure about it. After all, the divine tree of town time was very mysterious, and the divine fruit that it bore has never been picked. Only Chen Shang can take it off and refine it into pills, so there is no other experience to learn from. About half an hour later, Huo Yongfei's body suddenly swelled up, which made Chen Shang and the others nervous. Senior Huo, are you all right? Chen Shang hurriedly asked, and released his consciousness to investigate the situation in his body, and found that Huo Yongfei had a large bead in his abdomen. Chen Shang was shocked. He had to know that the pill he gave to Huo Yongfei before was only the size of a thumb, but now it has become a bead the size of a fist, and a burst of energy surged out, supporting Huo Yongfei's stomach. I'm fine, I can hold it. Huo Yongfei's face was flushed with a hint of pain. Chen Shang didn't know why this happened. He had never had such an experience. Generally speaking, after being refined into a pill by him, if this pill can be eaten, at most it is too powerful, so it will hold up. Because when he was refining alchemy, he had already removed all consciousness, and the energy was refined very pure, and would not cause energy mutation. And Huo Yongfei's current situation seems to be caused by the energy mutation of the pill he ate, which is very bizarre. Huo Yongfei did not let Chen Shang intervene, but wanted to do it himself. He wanted to face it himself, so as to improve his mood. After 2 hours, Huo Yongfei's swollen abdomen gradually returned to its original shape. His wrinkled face began to change towards the appearance of a middle-aged man. It can be seen that he is now fully able to absorb the divine pill by himself, and does not need Chen Zhang's help. Come here, Huo Yongfei suddenly said to his 6 subordinates, put your hands on me. His 6 men immediately followed suit, placing their hands on him. Chen Shang knew at a glance that Huo Yongfei was going to lose the power of Shendon to his younger brothers. His younger brothers are also very old and have been with him for many years, so he has to give them a hand. After Huo Yongfei delivered his power, his younger brothers gradually became younger, which means that the pill that Chen Shang made with the divine fruit has already had a very good effect. Still not pure enough. Chen Shang thought that it was because the messy consciousness inside the divine fruit was not completely refined, so it would be unstable after eating it. After Huo Yongfei's side stabilized, Chen Shang went to fetch another divine fruit. This time, after he trains, he will eat it for himself. His ultimate goal is to cultivate a new destiny by eating this divine pill. Chen Shang took down a divine fruit, and brought Gong Baihe into the Tianshuan space, and then began to concoct pills. This time alchemy, he has been very handy, can obviously feel that the quality has improved a lot. Sister He, after you eat it, you should be able to improve your cultivation, right? Chen Shang said. Okay, it's my turn to try pills next. Gong Baihe said, Senior Huo ate it before, but there is still some instability. Chen Shang is also very fast in alchemy now, and the material is the divine fruit of the time, which can be easily obtained, so these divine pills are not particularly valuable to him. After he refined it, he would eat it for Gong Baihe, right in the Tianshuan space. After Gong Baihe ate it, he quickly entered the state of cultivation. This time there was no instability, which meant that the divine pill refined by Chen Shang had no major problems, and Chen Shang could eat it directly. When he went out, he saw a young man. It looked very strange, but Chen Shang looked carefully for a while, and found that the young man smiling at him was none other than the Monkey King. The Monkey King actually turned into a human directly. Chen Shang was very shocked. Your Excellency the Monkey King, you turned into a human, Chen Shang said in surprise, or, you could have turned into a human in the first place. No, I only made this breakthrough by eating the divine pill that sank into Shangtai. The Monkey King is also very respectful to Chen Shang at this moment. Chen Zhang's own cultivation base is not high, and his strength is not particularly strong, but his level of alchemy is extremely high. Really? Then I'll turn around and give Brother Golden Monkey a hole. Chen Shang looked at the golden monkey next to him, and laughed. Then he looked towards Huo Yongfei. They had also become very young, but they were still cultivating. Thank you, Brother Shen. Jin Monkey quickly thanked him. Brother Shen, this is for you. The Monkey King took out a small sapling and handed it to Chen Shang. What is this? Chen Shang took a look and said in shock, this is the sapling of the Junshi divine tree. That's right, we found the sapling under the tree. Although there is a divine fruit here, it may be possible to grow the divine tree of the town, but I think this sapling is more important and may be useful to Brother Shen. Said the Monkey King. Many thanks, Brother Monkey King. Chen Shang quickly thanked him, then put it into the 6 Paths divine mirror and handed it over to Sister Xiaojing for planting. Brother Shen, you're welcome. I still have things to deal with, you stay here for the time being, don't go out. The golden monkey will stay here to protect you. Said the Monkey King. What's the matter? This holy place should be very safe. Chen Shang asked when he saw the Monkey King in a hurry. There is some situation in this space, and I don't know where something is coming out. It is approaching the Junshi divine tree, and the barrier outside has been broken. The Monkey King said, I'm going to find out the situation. In order to enter this anti-space before, Chen Shang reversed the time between the positive space and the anti-space, so it is not surprising that there will be chaos. But even if there is chaos, it can't be so fast. Brother Shen, don't worry, you can make alchemy here with peace of mind. We can handle things. After the Monkey King finished speaking, he left in a hurry. Chen Shang went to take down a time-suppressing divine fruit, and then returned to the heavenly jade space. After he went in, he saw Gong Baihe covered in golden light, her white hair fluttering, and the white and gold flicker alternately. It could be seen that she had greatly improved after eating the divine pill. World-defying Dan God Chapter 5037, burst open. When Chen Shang came into contact with the Monkey King before, he did not find out what kind of special power he possessed after his breakthrough. Although the Junshi Shendan contains the power of the Junshi tree, the Monkey King and Huo Yongfei did not absorb the Junshi power. Chen Shang is now investigating Gong Baihei's situation, and found that she has not absorbed the power of the town. It seems that they still can't absorb it completely. That power has been recovered by the suppressing time divine tree. Chen Shang opened his eyes and could see a very weak airflow leaving the heavenly jade space. Although they can't absorb the divine power of the time, but other powers can still be absorbed, which can bring them a great improvement. Time-suppressing divine power is only an attribute of divine power. It can be said to be insignificant, but it can play a big role. For example, very pure energy without attribute. After injecting a trace of flame attribute, the energy without attribute can quickly become fire energy. Chen Shang immediately started to make pills. He is different from others. He can completely absorb the power of the divine pills in the refining town, and it will not be wasted. Moreover, he will eventually condense it into a destiny. After condensing into a destiny, he can fully master the divine power of the time, and can use this power to fight against the time cultivator. Gong Baihei absorbed the Junshi divine pill faster than Huo Yongfei and the Monkey King. After all, her pill was of extremely high quality, and it was Chen Zhang's improved pill. Little villain, I broke through. Gong Baihei said softly when he saw Chen Shang concocting pills. How do you feel? Chen Shang asked. If you encounter beasts and monsters on the 5th floor, can you beat them? When they were in the positive space before, they encountered many very terrifying and powerful monsters. Chen Shang still had lingering fears when he recalled it now. Should be able to beat it. Gong Baihei said. If those things don't become stronger, I can easily kill them. It seems that you have improved a lot. Chen Shang said with a smile. I feel that this kind of magic pill is only effective if I take the first pill. Gong Baihei said. It's like this for me. If I continue to take it, it will have no effect. Ah, I thought I could eat it all the time. Chen Shang was a little surprised by this and asked, why do you feel this way? I only absorbed 70% to 80% of the energy of this pill, and the rest can't be absorbed anymore, so I just leave it in my body. Gong Baihei said, the reason why I can't absorb it is because my body and soul are very sensitive to this kind of energy. The absorption has reached the limit, and continued absorption is not only ineffective but harmful. So it is. Chen Shang nodded. He had planned to train more for Gong Baihei to eat to make her stronger. I'll get acquainted with this realm first. You continue to concoct pills. Gong Baihei said. Chen Shang continued to refine the Junshi divine pill. His alchemy speed was getting faster and faster. After he came out of the pill, he ate it immediately, and then went outside to get the Junshi divine fruit, and then took it back to continue alchemy. Chen Shang can refine the divine pill he ate, and at the same time refine the divine pill at the same time. This kind of ability makes Gong Baihei admire and envy very much. Little villain, how do you feel after eating the divine pill? Gong Baihei asked. My way of cultivation is different from yours. I refined it with my soul. Chen Shang said with a smile. There is no obvious feeling yet. He really gave Tianxuan Mingge to refine it. In his soul, Tianxuan's destiny looks like a spiral cyclone, and when it rotates, it is also like a grinding disc, which can refine various energies and then converge into a destiny at the center. This is the cultivation method that Chen Shang has found out by himself. It can not only cultivate the fate, but also make the fate and Tianxuan's fate very compatible. Tianxuan's destiny is Chen Zhang's main destiny, and it is also the most important. The other fates are now all around Tianxuan's fate. Tianxuan's fate has become the carrier of other fates. Gong Baihei definitely couldn't understand Chen Zhang's way of cultivation. Even those who practice the way of life in the world-defying universe, they couldn't understand it either. In the Tianxuan space, Chen Shang is not always concentrating on alchemy and cultivation, and from time to time together with Gong Baihei, he enjoys the two-person world intimately and sweetly. He hasn't been like this for a long time. With a loved one by his side, it really won't be so monotonous, and even his mood has improved a lot. Sister Xiaojing would make fun of Chen Shang from time to time, because there are Guo Lingshe and Meidian Yao who are very concerned about him outside, but he is in a hurry here. If the beauties outside knew, maybe they would bite him a few times. Chen Shang also tried various methods to contact Tian Yao and Da Lingshe, but all were unsuccessful, and he was very helpless. Da Lingshe and Da Tianyao were really worried about Chen Shang, but they were all in a panic, because they suddenly learned a piece of news. In the 5th floor, even those sect disciples suffered a great loss. And Chen Shang entered the 5th floor relatively late, and his strength is much worse than those of the sect disciples. They are worried every day, very worried about hearing some bad news, but they don't know that Chen Shang is living happily with the beauty inside. They are no longer in the lobby, inside the Yishan Dragon Gate. This is the residence arranged by the great dragon ancestor for them. Just today, Da Lingshe and Da Tianyao suddenly felt very uncomfortable, especially in the depths of their souls. They were fluctuating wildly, very unstable. No, junior brother Shen is not here. We may not be able to continue to fit together. Da Lingshe was very anxious. Senior sister, this. Before Mei Tianyao finished speaking, white light appeared all over his body, as did Da Lingshe, and it was still very painful. Just after they struggled for a while, their glowing bodies suddenly split. It was Guo Lingshe and Mei Tianyao who split up. After the successful separation, they looked at each other. They both experienced pain just now, and they are very powerless at the moment. The clothes on their bodies were also destroyed, and they all looked at each other in amazement. What should I do? Da Lingshe said. Junior brother Shen hasn't come out yet. Only he can help us continue to integrate. Guo Lingshe frowned. I don't know if we will be hunted down by the time cultivators. No matter what, we must hold out until brother Shen comes out. Charming Tianyao was very difficult, and then took out the clothes to put on the big Tianyao, and the two still cared about each other and hugged tightly, because they were very scared now, and they were very worried that one of them would be destroyed by the time cultivator. Guo Lingshe and Da Lingshe also hugged tightly, worried about losing each other. In their eyes, the other party is their relatives. They have the same mind, they know each other very well, and they don't want to lose each other. Why is this happening? Do you need brother Shen's help to maintain it every once in a while? Da Tianyao said anxiously, I don't know if we can stop the time cultivator from chasing and killing. Do you like this site? Donate here. World Defying Dan God Chapter 5038, Temple Destroyer Tower. Chen Shang didn't know the current situation of the four of them. If he knew, he would be very anxious. In fact, Chen Shang never thought that they would separate by themselves, because when he operated, it could last for a long time. Now I don't know what caused them to separate. Why don't we leave Yishan and go to the world-defying universe? Guo Lingshe said. We still don't know when junior brother Shen will come out. If we continue to stay here, if we are chased and killed, we will definitely not be able to stop it. No, the entire Tianlong Star region is sealed, and it's difficult to get out, and it's a fusion of Shaoyishan and Daishan outside. It's very chaotic. The big Tianyao shook his head and said, we can only wait for brother Shen to come out. We are on the heavenly dragon ancestor star, and the dragon ancestor is also here. The people who came to chase and kill us were all emperor-level characters. With the great dragon ancestor here, they shouldn't dare to mess around, right? Charming Tianyao said. Let's find the great dragon ancestor. Guo Lingshe said. Afterwards, the four girls immediately went to find the great dragon ancestor. Seeing the four of them, Da Longzhu was still very surprised. He knew that they had merged with each other before, but now they suddenly split apart, which really surprised him. Why did you separate? Da Longzhu asked. I don't know what happened. We suddenly separated. Junior brother Shen helped us integrate before, and I don't know if it took him a long time to maintain it before we could continue to integrate. Da Lingshe sighed and said, long ancestor predecessors, there may be time during this period of time when the monks come to trouble us. I wonder if you can help us block. Dalongzhu also wants to rescue Xiaolongzhu, and then merge with Xiaolongzhu, so that they can become stronger, so they don't have to be afraid of Demonzhu and Xuanzhu. However, he himself is not sure to rescue Xiaolongzhu, because Xiaolongzhu is still in the hands of Demon Zhu. He had seen Chen Zhang's performance in the Immortal War Profound Demon Pagoda before, and he had also seen Chen Zhang's evil spirits, and knew that Chen Shang was very sure of saving Xiao Yaozhu and Longzhu. I can protect you for a while. Da Longzhu nodded and agreed very decisively. After all, they were all on the same boat. At this moment, the bodies of Guo Lingshe and Mei Tianyao suddenly trembled, and their bodies were still undulating, as if ripples of time and space appeared around them. What's going on? Da Lingshe exclaimed in surprise. This is. The great dragon ancestor was very shocked and said, this is the ripples of time and space. What are space-time ripples? The big demon asked. The little Yishan where they are located should have undergone changes in time and space, so they have also been affected to a certain extent. Dalongzhu frowned. Maybe this is the reason for your separation. Ah, what the asterisk is going on? Daling She was incomprehensible. It should be done by the monks. What did the monks do when they traveled to the past of Shaoyishan, and then affected the changes in the future of Shaoyishan? They come from Shaoyishan, and they have also changed. Shocked, it stands to reason that if it affects the past, there will be a lot of confusion, and if it is serious, it will split into other heavens. It seems that the time cultivator has made time and space very confusing. Guo Lingshe said. I don't feel any change in myself, but I do feel a little bit. Me too, what does this feel like? Meidian Yao frowned and said, what changes did the time cultivator make to Shaoyishan's past? Time and space are getting more and more chaotic. If the chaos continues, it will surely perish. The great dragon ancestor was worried. If it's really over, only the world-defying universe is the safest. Guo Lingshe said, Senior, you have to find a way to break through the seal here and go to the world-defying universe. Don't you save Yaozu? Dalongzhu asked. We have to prepare for the worst. In case of destruction caused by the chaos of time and space, then we have nothing to do. Daling She sighed. Shenzhen Xuanmo Tower is so strong, it should not be destroyed. Demon. The Six Paths Demon City where Zhu is located is also protected by the Six Paths Magic Mirror, so maybe he can rush out immediately. Okay, I'll find a way now. Dalongzhu also realized the seriousness of the situation, and immediately started the matter. Because Chen Shang was in the Tianshuan space, he didn't know what was going on. When he came out today to get the divine fruit of the town, he saw the handsome young monkey king, his face pale and wounded lying on the ground. The golden monkey looked after him, while Huo Yongfei and his younger brothers sent energy to help heal the wounds. When the monkey king ate the pill that broke through the town, he was extremely powerful, and he was injured so badly. Brother Monkey King, what's the matter with you? Chen Shang hurried over. Gong Baihe went over to investigate, and said solemnly, Brother Monkey King's cultivation base is gone. What? Chen Shang widened his eyes and shouted in shock. Who hurt you so badly? Gong Baihe asked. Shenzhen Xuanmo Tower. It's changed, it's very messy. All floors are merged. It's become very big, all kinds of chaos. The Monkey King said weakly, intermittently, I have encountered many powerful things, I can't beat them. Monkeys and grandchildren are all dead. Chen Shang and Gong Baihe were both shocked and looked at each other. The floors of the entire Immortal War Mysterious Demon Tower have been merged. They are now on the 5th floor, and there are 6, 7, 8, and 9 floors above it. It's all merged, no wonder the Monkey King is hurt so badly. Why is this happening? Chen Shang asked. The Temple of Time shot. Huo Yongfei next to him said solemnly, because the Shenzhen Xuanmo Tower is completely out of control, the Temple of Time realizes that if it is not destroyed, the tower will be related to the life and death of the Temple of Time. The change of the Immortal War Profound Demon Pagoda is very rapid. After Chen Shang came in, it changed many times. Also at this time, Chen Shang received news from an acquaintance. Brother Shen, I'm Ahu. Where are you? The Immortal War Profound Demon Tower has merged. I have found a passage to run out, where are you? Come out with us, that passage will be closed. Ahu came the news. Ahu, you run first. Chen Shang looked at the gods of the time, he hadn't broken through yet. Moreover, the Monkey King is their strongest combat power, and they have already fallen. If they rush out of the divine tree, they will definitely be very dangerous. Brother Shen, we are destined to see you again. Ahu was with the King Kong fire before, but now he should also leave with the King Kong fire. Later, another acquaintance contacted Chen Shang, it was Yi Guangding. He gave Yi Guangding a message, and also asked Yi Guangding to help investigate the disappearance of his father in Yaohengsheng. Mr. Shen, the Temple of Time is going to destroy the Immortal War Profound Demon Tower. Where are you? You must leave as soon as possible. Yi Guangding said, I am outside the tower, and I can't go in and save you at this time, but I know there is an exit. World-Defying Dan God Chapter 5039, Heaven's Antiquity Curse. Ahu also told Chen Shang before that there is an exit to go out, but it will be closed soon. Yi Guangding then told Chen Shang where the exit was. Because the floors of the Shenzhen Xuanmo Tower were all merged together, it was very chaotic outside. Even if Yi Guangding told Chen Shang the location of the exit, it would be difficult for him to find it in a short time. However, Chen Shang still wrote it down, and thanked Yi Guangding. What about those sect disciples? Chen Shang asked. Didn't your time temple help many sect disciples? They should still be in the Immortal War Profound Demon Pagoda. They were all found by us, and they have all left the Shenzhen Zan Demon Tower. The meaning of the Temple of Time is to directly make them time monks. Yi Guangding said. This incident is very sudden, in short, it is because of Xian Zongxuan. The magic tower is growing too fast, and the Temple of Time has to be destroyed, otherwise there will be endless troubles in the future. By the way, Brother Yi, have you found anything about my father and the Demon Soul Star? Chen Shang asked. I have a clue, I only know who is in charge now. I will investigate further, Yi Guangding said. You better come out as soon as possible, it will be too late. I'll go out as soon as possible, and see you then. Chen Shang received the communication talisman. His mood was very complicated. He looked at the injured Monkey King, and then looked at Huo Yongfei and the others. What's wrong? Gong Baihei asked. Chen Shang told the news from Yi Guangding. No, we can't get to that location. The Monkey King shook his head and said, we died on the way. I can go, but I still want to stay here. Chen Shang looked at the time-suppressing fruit on the vines. He hadn't cultivated his destiny yet, so he was unwilling to leave like this. The Monkey King could also see that Chen Shang was reluctant to bear the fruit, and said, Brother Shen, let's stay here. Wait for my injury to recover, and then wait for you. Okay, Chen Shang nodded. Don't worry, I will definitely find a way out by then. The fairy battle conference is over. Chen Shang originally went for the final reward, but it suddenly ended like this. He was very unwilling. Now that the Immortal Battle Conference has ended, Chen Shang can also use the Divine Weapon, the Divine Mirror of Six Paths and the Divine Furnace. With the help of these two artifacts, Chen Zhang's alchemy is also more effective. Next, he is desperately refining the magic pill. As Gong Baihei said, after they took one pill, the second pill would have no effect. The same is true for the Monkey King and Huo Yongfei, only the Golden Monkey has an effect. Chen Shang refines hundreds of grains in one breath, and there is an inexhaustible supply of divine fruit, and if one picks one, another will grow quickly. At the same time as he was consuming pills and cultivating, he also used the world-defying divine furnace to make pills, and then reversed time through the Six Paths divine mirror, so he could save a lot of time. As before, he was in the Tianxuan space, but this time he would always pay attention to the situation outside. If there was an emergency, he could also hear the Monkey King and the others. After Chen Shang refined a large number of time-suppressing pills and ate them, he practiced in the time domain of the Six Paths Divine Mirror for several years, and finally cultivated a destiny. What surprised him was that fate was exactly the same as Junshi Shengguo, floating on the white light carousel of Tianxuan's fate. Chen Shang took Gong Baihei out of the heavenly jade space. At this time, the Monkey King had also recovered from his injuries, and it was only a few days outside. After cultivating a new destiny, Chen Zhang's strength greatly increased. Monkey King and Huo Yongfei could clearly feel it. Gong Baihei has always been by Chen Zhang's side, and is also very close to Chen Shang, so she can most clearly feel that Chen Zhang's strength has been greatly improved, and even estimated that Chen Zhang's strength is comparable to hers. Come on, let's take a look outside, Chen Shang said. They walked towards the passage, which had been blocked by the Monkey King before, so no one could find it. After going out of the tree hole, it was a long thick branch. They walked on a very spacious branch, and they could no longer see those huge leaves. The wind was strong, and there was a tyrannical wind blowing everywhere, and it hurt people's faces. During the town, the sacred tree became bare, and the trunk of the tree that originally radiated golden light also became dim at this time. The divine tree has also reached the end of its life. The Monkey King sighed, I really didn't expect it. There are no more monsters and vicious beasts in the tower. Chen Shang let go of his divine sense, and swayed out with the spatial fate wave, covering a large area, and no vicious beasts were found. The fate that he just cultivated has strong time power, so he called it the fate of time. When he released his consciousness, he added the power of time and destiny, and he could see very vaguely what happened in the past day or two. Divine consciousness accompanied the area shrouded by spatial fluctuations, and with the power of time, the scenes of the past few days could appear in Chen Zhang's mind. Although it was very vague, he could see a large number of beasts and monsters, rushing out through a large opening. The Shenzhen Xuanmo Tower is located in the dragon ancestor city of Tianlongzuxing. Those powerful beasts run out. I am afraid that only Tianzu level can suppress them, especially the fierce beasts on the 8th and 9th floors, which are extremely powerful and comparable to the ancestors' level existence. Chen Shang was suddenly very worried about Guo Lingshe and the others. Where is the exit? Huo Yongfei asked. It's closed, Chen Shang said. There used to be a big space gap here before, and now it's blocked. Look at the sky, shouted the Monkey King. Chen Shang and the others looked up, and there appeared many white halos like ripples, which were spreading in the air, and when the waves were swaying, they turned into ancient characters. This is the ancient curse of the Temple of Time. Huo Yongfei's face changed suddenly, and he said, "It's over, we're going to die here." Chen Shang took a deep breath, and then released the divine mirror of 6 paths. After pulling Gong Baihe and jumping onto the enlarged 6 paths divine mirror, he shouted, "Everyone, come up." Huo Yongfei and his 6 younger brothers, as well as the Monkey King Golden Monkey, immediately jumped onto the 6 paths divine mirror. The divine mirror of 6 paths immediately made a space jump and went to the area that was not covered by the spell energy wave. In just an instant, the 6 paths divine mirror jumped to a very far area. It was relatively quiet here, and the wind was very small. They can still see the huge and magnificent Junshi tree here, and the whole tree is shrouded in energy waving down from the air at this moment. Chen Shang and the others looked at it from a distance, as if the space there was distorting and undulating, and at the same time, there were countless lightning and flames shrouded in it. It seems to be a powerful space-time force that is urging the lightning and flames to destroy the sacred tree of the town. The town god tree should be the core of this tower. The Monkey King felt a lot of heartache, because the sacred tree of the town was equivalent to his homeland, and now it has been destroyed like this. Are we trapped in the tower? Huo Yongfei looked into the air. Although it is still very calm here, they are still in the tower and are still very dangerous. World Defying Dan God Chapter 5040, Tower Tree Reborn. Chen Shang can jump out at any time, because the space here has collapsed, and now he has cultivated the space fate, and with the 6 paths divine mirror, it is also an easy thing to leave the Immortal War Profound Demon Tower. When he jumped over just now, he had already figured out the situation of the space. The reason why he didn't leave was because Sister Xiaojing told him that the small sapling of the sacred tree of the town that the Monkey King gave him before suddenly burst into a strong golden light. Chen Shang immediately thought of something. Because the big town ***** tree is being destroyed, maybe it is through the transmission of time and space, the important energy is transferred to the small sapling. Chen Shang immediately asked Sister Xiaojing to transfer the small saplings to an open area. If there is no accident, the small saplings will suddenly explode and grow. The sacred tree of the town was shrouded in the Temple of Time's heavenly ancient world destruction curse, and it was already burning. And the small saplings inside the 6 paths divine mirror are also flashing strong golden light at this moment, and then the small saplings are growing rapidly. Chen Shang can see the appearance of growth, it looks like the divine tree of Junshi. Is the little sapling receiving all the sacred tree of the town? Brother, did the Junshi divine tree be reborn with the help of a small sapling? This is too amazing. Sister Xiaojing has also seen many strange things, but this also surprised her very much. How did this happen? The sacred tree seems to have been destroyed in the town, and the energy should burst out with the destruction. Why is there still so much energy being transferred to the saplings? This is the question of Xiaojing's sister. The divine tree of Junshi stores its energy in a certain period of time. Perhaps in the eyes of outsiders, its destruction is just a cup of tea, but the divine tree of Junshi may have spent tens of thousands of years transferring energy. Chen Shang said. The sacred tree of the town is also very good at using time. Sister Xiaojing said in surprise. It's really brilliant. Chen Shang was also amazed at this. The time-suppressing divine tree was reborn inside the 6-path divine mirror, which was a good thing for Chen Shang. If it was someone else, they would definitely not be able to control this tree, but Chen Shang can. Chen Shang couldn't even sense where the energy came from, so it was indeed stored in a period of time. The small saplings inside the 6 paths divine mirror will continue to gain energy and grow with the passage of time. More than 2 hours have passed, and the huge Junshi divine tree has been blasted into ashes and has been completely destroyed. At this moment, there are also many cracks in the entire Immortal War Profound Demon Pagoda, which are cracking. The Temple of Time is about to start destroying this tower. The Shenzhen Xuanmo Tower uses the power of time by itself, causing many changes in this tower, thus breaking away from the control of the Temple of Time, and even fighting against the Temple of Time. Originally, the Temple of Time needed this tower to test new time monks, but because the Shenzhen Xuanmo Tower grew too fast, the Temple of Time had to destroy it. It's time for us to leave too. Chen Shang looked at the cracked sky, and he could sense the great space. The space of the Shenzhen Xuanmo Tower is cracked, and the outside is the space of Daishan. After going out, it is the Tianlong Zuxing. Go! Chen Shang controlled the divine mirror of 6 paths, made a space jump, and left the Immortal War Profound Demon Tower. Chen Shang came outside. The divine mirror of 6 paths was suspended high in the sky. Looking at the huge tower in front of him that was cracking and collapsing, he was also sighing. He really did not expect that a tower could grow by itself, and it had to fight against the Temple of Time and end the chaos of time and space brought about by the Temple of Time. At this time, Chen Shang noticed that most of this celestial dragon ancestral star was covered by flames, with thick smoke billowing everywhere, and obviously many large-scale fierce battles broke out. He immediately took out the communication talisman to contact Daling Shay and Da Tian Yao, but found that they couldn't get in touch. Not good. Chen Shang saw Tianlong Zuxing suddenly tremble, and realized that the Temple of Time was going to detonate Tianlong Zuxing. He made a space jump again, away from Tianlong Zuxing. In the distance, they could see that the Tianlong ancestral star suddenly flashed, and the light wave instantly covered the Tianlong star field, and a large number of fragments rushed to all directions. The Shenzhen Xuanmo Tower was completely destroyed. However, at this moment, Sister Xiaojing screamed and sent a voice transmission to Chen Shang. Brother, look inside the divine mirror of 6 paths. Chen Shang looked at the divine mirror of 6 paths, and found that the divine tree of Junshi had disappeared before. Instead, there was an extra tower. This tower is square, with golden exterior walls and some branches. It looks like the fusion of Shenzhen Xuanmo Tower and Junshi divine tree. But this is obviously the Immortal War Profound Demon Tower. Wasn't the Shenzhen Xuanmo Tower destroyed? Why did it also appear in the 6 paths divine mirror? At this time, Chen Shang suddenly thought of something. Maybe they saw the destroyed Shenzhen Xuanmo Tower, just a substitute for a time mirror. The real Immortal War mysterious demon pagoda has long since been replaced and hidden in the anti-space, and moved to the 6 paths divine mirror along with the Junshi divine tree. Chen Shang had seen the front and back spaces in the Immortal War Profound Demon Tower before, so he could do it. It is also possible that the Shenzhen Profound Demon Pagoda found another time period to replace the real self, and then ran away, or there were 2 time periods overlapping the Shenzhen Profound Demon Pagoda. Only one of them was destroyed. In short, a complete Immortal War Profound Demon Pagoda is just in the 6 paths divine mirror, and it is also integrated with the Junshi divine tree. Chen Shang was ecstatic in his heart. The addition of such a tower to the 6 paths divine mirror is undoubtedly a huge improvement, which is even greater than the gain of participating in the Immortal Battle Conference to win the Star Territory. Because the Shenzhen Xuanmo Tower itself is very powerful, and it also has a very strange time and space power. If it can be used well, it can completely fight against the Temple of Time. Where are we going now? Huo Yongfei asked. I'll give it a try and see if I can contact my friends. Chen Shang released the power of space through the divine mirror of 6 paths, and used the communication talisman to enhance the space penetration of the communicative talisman. Not long after, he really got in touch with Guoling Shay and the others, and learned about their current situation. They had merged before, but now they are separated. The great dragon ancestor took them out of the way before leaving the heavenly dragon ancestral star. At that time, several demon ancestors took action, because they were very difficult to face the powerful beasts and monsters that ran out of the Shenzhen Zan Demon Tower, and they also had to protect their own disciples, so they didn't fight those beasts. When Chen Shang came out of the Immortal War Profound Demon Tower, he didn't see any beasts or monsters, which means that he has gone to different places in the world. The Tianlong Star Territory has also been lifted, Daishan and Shaoyishan are completely merged, and there are so many things running out of the Shenzhen Xuanmo Tower, which is undoubtedly another chaos for the new Daishan. The Temple of Time once again brought chaos to Daishan. Chen Shang has now seen how the Temple of Time caused endless chaos.